everyone, welcome to this stream on youtube.com/JohnnyKiodini. That's me, I'm Johnny Chiodini, and let me tell you, I am having a day. I turned up to the airport ages ago, and my flight's delayed. All of the flights are delayed. Sorry I didn't go live earlier. I had to wait until somebody got out from the seat so I could charge my phone enough to start streaming. Jukebox345 says, "Ah, shit, my flight's delayed too." No way! I mean, it's chaos, right? Hold on. I mean, look, I actually haven't looked for a while because I was trying to get my phone set up, but... No, this sucks. It looks like everything... just looks like everything's delayed. But that's okay. You know, like... This, you know, it's not the fanciest of airports, but we're here. At least we're all together. I figure, you know, like I just got a coffee, so, you know, let's just make the most of it. You know, we can just sit around, just have a chat. Josh Warrior says, "God damn it, just my luck." I know. Well, where were you flying, Josh? Where's everyone flying to today? Maybe we're all on the same flight. The Ariakusen says, "Oh no, my JetBlue holiday." I know, right? Like, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. But Will says, so confusingly, I'm actually waiting for a train to depart. Oh, well, no, that sounds like you're at the train station, Will, not the airport. I'm at the airport. I just got a coffee. And I don't know, I guess we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see if the flights become undelayed. I don't know what the, Avadosian Chulak 2 says, "How delayed is your flight that you could figure out logistics, message us, and get settled for a stream?" I mean, okay, alright, look, you know, I'll admit, I turned up early to the airport, because I'm not a nervous flyer, but, like, being an anxious person, I like to get there a bit early, so I can sort of wander around. Like, I got some snacks, and, made sure I had time to get through security. And then, you know, I got through, and it was when I was actually in the queue for security that they, like, announced that, I mean, like, you know, look, like, everything's delayed. It's all anyone's talking about here. All the flights are just delayed. I just, you know, I was like, all right, well, it's Thursday. Let's make the most of it. The One Who Dares says, "I've just finished work, and now this? Where's the bar?" Ah. Where are you flying to, The One Who Dares? I'm going to, Brussels. The Hot Shame says, "What's funny is that I'm actually waiting for my plane to New York." Oh, man. Like, I hope it's not delayed. Because it doesn't look like I'm going anywhere for a while. The Ariakusen says, "No wonder it's delayed. Should have joined the stream 2 hours early to get through security." Yeah. Dark Anemo says, "I bet it's because of that damn show." Sarah's Yelling says, "Duty-free tabs." I'm going to get those on the way back. So, Kane's Child says, "I'm chronically early. My dad was ex-military. If I'm not at least 15 minutes early, I'm late." Yeah, fair. Well, it seems like we're all really early for our flights. I don't know what flight that was that got to depart, but it sure as shit wasn't mine. Nausea says, "Appreciate they allowed the mic in." Yeah, no, well, I've flown a lot around the world with, like, with kit. Like, I used to, I used to go to, like, E3 and Gamescom and all this stuff, so I'm used to flying with, like, audio-visual equipment. Funnily enough, I used to have a Zoom Z4, and I used to have to get that out of my bag every time I was going through security and be like, "Hello, can I flag you down ahead of time? This is not a taser," because I don't know if you've seen a Zoom Z4. It's a little box that's, like, sort of rectangular like that, and then it's got 2 mics on the top that cross, and it looks like a fucking taser. Will says, "Of course, it's important for me to remind people that since we're delayed, if your flight left or entered the EU, we're eligible to claim EU 261 compensation and can claim up to 5 years in retrospect. In the UK, the equivalent is UK 261. You can get up to £521 or €500 compensation." Well, that's good, because I I don't think anyone's getting out of here anytime soon. But that's okay. So, yeah, like I said, Cara Denison says, sorry I was held up in customs. That's alright, Cara. Where you flying to? Where's everyone going today? Lord S. Havron says, what's everyone going to be reading on the plane once the delay clears up? I'm hoping to finish the new Dresden Files novel. A little over 100 pages left. Ooh, that sounds good. I'm currently reading... Whoa, Will says I once told an entire BA flight about that and cost BA probably about 100 grand. I feel very strongly about it. Hell yeah. I'm reading a book called The Lamb by Lucy Rose at the minute. And I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. It's mostly about cannibalism, so you'd think it'd be right up my street. But probably shouldn't say that out loud in an airport. They're going to pull me aside, aren't they, for questioning. But yeah, it's a very weird book. But it's, you know, yeah. There was a weird noise here in the airport. I was trying to work out where it was coming from. The Eric Houston says, was the book hard to swallow? Very good. Alexander Hansen says, better than airplane food. Apparently it's the altitude that makes it, like, altitude makes your sense of smell less good. So airplane food tends to be high in salt because they just bung salt in it so that you can taste something while you're in the air. Which kind of makes me laugh because is it the end of the second of the Hannibal Lecter films where like he's eating some human meat on a plane? It's like, this is delectable. It's like, you can't taste that, Hannibal. You're on a plane. Jukebox 345 says, so that is the deal with airline food. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, Solar Lunix, hello. It says, I think I've seen a video on sorted food about airplane food. It was really good. I will have a look at that. Oh, Alyssa says sorted food did a whole video on airplane food. There you go. Sarah says, altitude actually makes my sense of taste better. There we go. It's why Bloody Marys are popular on planes, says the Shy By guy. Well, there you go. Huh. It was very nice to meet you, Solar Lunix, after the Oxventure show on Friday. It was at the end of Hannibal, thank you, Scofield. Sorry, I'm just going to check the departures board. No, everything's still delayed. Orthogonalist says, does this mean submarine food is amazing? Yeah, probably, why not? Sure. Jukebox 345 says, love a Bloody Mary. I wonder if the bar has any tomato juice. If you want to go look, I'll save your seat. That's totally fine. I'm just nursing a coffee right now, but I'm pretty sure, like, there's a bar just, like, by the next gate. So, like, I'm going to have a beer in a bit. I brought some popcorn just in case, you know, the flight got delayed. And, the Indigo Witch says, I was once so early for a flight I missed the flight. How does that work? How does that make sense? How does that... What? Oh, Cara Dennison says, might be adopting a third guinea pig. Abandoned 1-month-old needing a home. 1 month old? Oh. That's not very old. Catherine Mason says, the show was great, by the way. Thank you. I don't remember any of it because I was so full of adrenaline. And then afterwards, the rest of the cast were like, oh, where should we go? Like, you know, we should go for a drink and celebrate. And, you know, some people from Natural Six came to the show and stuff, and it was just like, people were like, oh, you know, where are you going to be? Where are you going to be having a drink? And I turned to everyone, I was like, I love you all. I'm going non-verbal. I am going to go off by myself and have a pint. So I took myself to Helgi's, which is a metal bar down the road. It was too loud for anyone to converse in there, so no one wanted to go. And I just had a drink by myself. It was great. Indigo Witch says, when we questioned it, they blamed us for checking in too early. They changed the gate and didn't update the people who had already checked in. It was at CDG. That sucks. Wowee. Carrie Joe Songs. Hello, Airport Lounge. Is this your studio? I'm confuzzled. Yeah, no, I turned up to the airport. And all the flights are delayed. So we're just sitting here. We're having a drink. And we're just waiting for things to become undelayed. Oh, hang on a minute. I think they're about to make an announcement. Passenger announcement from Passenger Robin was here. Passenger Robin was here. Has done a super chat, which reads, "Good afternoon, passengers. This is your pre-boarding announcement, inviting all premium passengers with small chihuahuas to the front. Bagged only. Bagged chihuahuas only. Please stand with an air of superiority." Oh, there you go. Thank you very much, Robin was here. That was a very informative announcement. I hope your flight gets undelayed soon. Undelay. Oh dear. Lillian Lepem says CDG. Ah, yay, that sounds like us, all right. The Gardening DM says, "Can you get a bagged chihuahua duty free?" Why does it? When you said a bagged chihuahua, my brain went straight to rotisserie chicken. Sarah says this is the opposite of the co-working stream. Yeah. There it is. Well, what else is there to do when you're just waiting for your flight to finally board? Pomelo Boomslang says, "What's your favourite treat you only get at airports?" I don't only get it at airports, but I really like buying corn nuts at airports. Like a good couple of packs of corn nuts for the flight, maybe some Cheetos. Rihanna C says, "I'm laughing so hard I'm squeaking." Well, hopefully, I mean, hang on, let me check. No, everything's still delayed. Hopefully this won't be a 3-hour delay. But with my travel history, what can you do, you know? We might be here for a while, you know. Everyone get comfy, or as comfy as you can in an airport lounge, am I right? Carrie Joe Song says, "Are you one of those people that drinks alcohol at airports regardless of time?" Listen, airports are liminal spaces. There are so many people coming and going that they're all on different body clocks. Yes. It's always acceptable to have a pint in the morning at the airport. I don't always do it, but I will. Like, if I'm flying somewhere, I'm like, I'm about to get on a 9 or 11 hour flight. Sure, I'll have a beer. Why not? You know? Nausea says, "Not paid for the special lounge." No. Why would I bother? Because the thing is, like, I'm 5'8" tall. I'm a middling height. It used to be the average height in the UK. But unfortunately, people are getting taller, so now the average has shifted and I'm an inch under the national average height. However, my legs are short. I've got a long old torso, and I've just got short legs. So I've never had a problem with leg room on a plane. Like, I'm in economy, my knees never, ever touch the seat in front, ever. So I'm always good. Like, economy, fine. It's not the most comfortable. But it's also, you know, it means I don't get the special lounge. But no, it maybe does say something, not to break the fourth wall here, but it maybe does say something about me that I could have chosen any airport lounge in the world. This is what I went to. Ah, dear. The Shy By guy says, "Airports are such nightmares that I should be allowed to be a tiny bit tipsy while I'm there." Right? Exactly. Orthogonalist says, "I just had to take off my shoes, coat, shirt, and trousers at security. I think the security guard just fancied me." Oh, there you go. Huh. You know, maybe they're just thorough. Maybe they're just doing my job. Oh, hold on a minute. I think they're making an announcement. Passenger announcement from Passenger Fire Host. That's FIREHO57, saying, "I remember airport beer being expensive, so here's some dosh towards it. Thank you." Oh, that was a lovely announcement. Thank you very much, Firehost. Airport beer is a little bit on the pricey side, but then, like, airport beer is also, it's a beer in the airport, sometimes it's just what you need. But thank you very much for the bung. That means I can, I'll have a beer in a bit. Like I say, I'm just nursing this coffee. I'm a little bit worried that the tannoy microphone they're using for announcements is simultaneously echoey but not echoey enough. Firehost says, "Oh man, wasn't expecting that." Best tenner ever spent. You're very welcome. Oh, Kane's Child says 6'7". Planes don't like me and the feeling is mutual. Yeah, but think of all of the things you can reach. Will says, I was thinking this, the tannoy is surprisingly clear. Right, again, not to break the fourth wall, but like, it's one, it's got a spring in it, and like, you should be able to hear that, but maybe it's, hold on everyone, I think there's an announcement that's about to be made, but we'll try it a bit different. Passenger announcement from passenger Aiden Folks. Aiden Folks says, Inspector Sands to behind McDonald's. That's Inspector Sands to behind McDonald's. Thank you very much, passenger Aiden Folks. Also, again, not to break the fourth wall, is the tannoy noise going off? Like, you hear that, right? Because I don't. I can see from the waveform it's happening. But so, if you point the very bottom of the mic, you get the full... Okay, great. Okay, good, it's working. Yes, but it's the seatbelt noise. Oh, fuck, it is the seatbelt noise. Well, you can't, airports these days, Does anyone want me to check their flight for them? Sarah says it's weird that they keep saying the fourth wall like they're not actually at the airport. I know, it's almost like a meta joke. Oh, flight to Derry? Yeah, alright, hold on, Solar Lunix. It's not looking good. They haven't actually announced what the problem is. But it seems like it's affecting like basically everything. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's the baggage belts. Brassam says, Johnny, how's the flights to Seattle Tacoma? They're delayed, all right. They're delayed. Yeah. Doesn't matter who you're flying with. Delta, JetBlue, Spirit. Doesn't look like any of us is going anywhere for a while. Oh, Sarah says it's fog. Oh, hold on a minute. I think they're about to make an announcement. Passenger announcement from passenger Love Mickey. I can't believe I have to work while waiting for a flight. Thanks for keeping me company while I'm nursing my cat after surgery. Tipping for that one. Thank you. Oh, Love Mickey, I didn't realise your cat's had surgery. I really hope it went really, really well and that, the recovery is smooth and slick. It's not always easy nursing an animal back to health after they've had surgery. It can be nerve-wracking, but I hope it's going really well. Stevie Wonderbread says, no JetBlue holiday. No, none of them. Sarah says, love it in the airport when the staff make announcements about how much they hate being at work. Yeah. Oh, Will says, flight 25 to the Blackstone Fortress. Delayed, unfortunately. Gillian Mader says, I just ran to 3 different gates just for them to delay my flight for 3 hours. Glad there's all these people to sit with. Yeah, that's the silver lining, is that, like, at least I've got some nice people to talk to while I'm waiting for this flight. And, yeah. Oh, sorry, they're making an announcement. Passenger announcement. Passenger announcement from Christine Govers-Robert. Says, thanks for giving me flashbacks to last week. Love that this became a thing. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, Christine. Wow, they really butchered your surname on that tannoy announcement, didn't they? They never get it right when they're paging passengers, do they? But yeah, I love that this thing became a thing as well. I mean, obviously, I'm not thrilled that we're so delayed, but hey, at least we're among friends. Oh goodness, hold on. Passenger announcement from passenger Cookie Cat 94. Says, tried to sue the airport for losing my luggage. I lost my case. Thank you. That's a good one. I just genuinely enjoyed that one. It's one of those, I think I must have heard that before, but if I did, I don't remember. Toby Marshall says, oh my god, I'm late. Please tell me I haven't missed my flight. Where were you going, Toby Marshall? Either way, it doesn't, I mean, doesn't look like you're going anywhere. Were you on Delta 2139 to LGA? London Gatwick Airport? We'll see. I think it's pretty reasonable that, yeah, it's been delayed. But anyway. Oh, they're making an announcement. Passenger announcement from passenger orthogonalist. Passenger please go to gate gate. Thank you. Now that was an Airport Tano announcement. I understand a fucking word they just said. I'm not even sure if I am passenger I hope I'm not. Oh, LGA is LaGuardia in New York. Okay, alright, cool. I've been to New York, but we flew in and out of not LaGuardia. Don't know where we flew in and out of. I was there for work, and it snowed so heavily that we weren't allowed to go anywhere in case we got snowed in, not at the hotel or the place we needed to go. The gardening DM says, oh shit, was that me? I don't know. Look, if it's that important, they'll announce it again, don't worry. Oh, hold on. Passenger announcement from passenger Will Cornish. How much caramel can a candy cannonball cram in a camel if a candy cannonball can cram caramel in a camel? Thank you. Well, that one made even less sense. Is Caramel an airline? I'm not sure. Weird. Ed Fortune says, oh, that was for me. I better get to gate. But it's on the other side of the airport. Yeah, you've got time. You've probably got time. Like does seem pretty foggy out there, actually. If you look at the windows, that seems pretty foggy. So, Intra Hype says, does anyone seek Gate Netherworld? They said they have my baby. I don't know. Maybe check lost property or oversized baggage. I'm not entirely sure. Oh. Passenger announcement from passenger Neko the Kitty. It's all delayed. Thank the gods. If anyone needs me in the lounge bar with a drink in each hand for the next few hours. Thank you. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I've sort of got about like a third of my coffee left. I mean, I could just leave it. It's airport coffee. It's not that hot. It's not that good. But then I'm going to have a beer, I think. Yeah. Will says, I think we're delayed because of the fog from Stephen King's The Fog. Is that the thing they then made into The Mist? Because the only difference between fog and mist is visibility. It's something like if you've got up to 1 kilometer in visibility, it's mist. Anything denser than that is fog. Passenger announcement from passenger the Gerg 489. Could the owner of the blue Tesla registration IP3LE please move your car? It is parked in a handicap zone. That's registration IP3LE. Please move your car. Thank you. Sarah says mist is like shit fog, right? Yeah, exactly. Will says, I'll level with you. I might be thinking of The Mist. I think you might be. Ivy Kiss says, wasn't The Fog by James Herbert. The Shy By guy says, hey, Johnny, please freely. Oh, you. Tomasi says, hi, what are we doing? Oh, mate, we're at the airport and everything's delayed. So we're just having to wait around here at the airport. I'm gonna start drinking soon if these delays carry on much further. I've got a flight to catch, or so I thought. Starting to feel like I'll never get out of here. But at least we're all together. And passenger announcement. Passenger announcement from Mad Meeson, paging passenger Sawa for Vole Airlines Flight 180. Final call for boarding. Thank you. Wait, not Devon Sawa. I don't think that flight will go well. I started reading that and I was like, I get it. Very good. I really enjoyed that. Passenger announcement from passenger Sophina. My new antidepressants are making my bones feel itchy. Thanks for keeping me company during. Lamau. Thank you. I'm sorry that your bones are feeling itchy, Safina. Starting on a new medication is never fun. But at least your body will acclimatise. Like, it shouldn't be this bad ever again. In theory. Yeah. Have I taken my meds today? No. They are in my carry-on luggage, though, so I can take those soon. That's absolutely fine. But yeah. Oh, dear. Oh. Passenger announcement from passenger Brassam, passengers Marble Harbour, and Kage Night Ray are wished a great day. Hope whatever this delay brings them is engaging. Be envy, melt ice, do crims, yellow heart emoji, white heart emoji, purple heart emoji, black heart emoji, airplane. Thank you. Will says, hey, does anyone ever else think about how their bones are wet right now? I don't know why, but I kind of always assumed they were covered in like a mild film, like little protective. Your bones aren't always wet, but I think I was wrong. Yeah. Josh Warriad says these announcements are getting a lot more frequent. It feels as though something's going on. Yeah, maybe they're just trying to distract people from the fact that like every single flight is delayed. It's really just, oh, here we go again. Passenger announcement from passenger Erica Williams. Can't stay, have to work today. The last time we took a flight, we went a couple of hours early and had a bougie time with charcuterie and wine. It was worth the extra cost. Thank you. That sounds great, in fairness. I went once flying back from, I want to say Philadelphia. I went with my colleague, and like our flight was at like 2 p.m. But obviously we had to check out from the hotel at 11. Was it 2 p.m? Maybe it was a bit later. My colleague was like, look, I kind of don't feel like I need to see any more sights, and like I'm happy just to turn up at the airport and sit and have a beer and not worry. Do you want to do that? And I was like, yes, I'm the same kind of person. So we pitched up in a sports bar and watched like monster trucks for like 2 hours while having beers. It was the tootiest I've ever got on a flight, let me tell you that. But they did let me on, so there we go. Sarah says, if I am at a travel hub and I don't hear an announcement about someone's bones, then I don't want to be there. Right? Exactly. You know? What can you do? Passenger announcement from passenger Cookie Cat. Airport staff would like to issue an update on the passengers caught smuggling helium balloons in their luggage. Security assures us it's all under control, but the cases continue to rise. Thank you. I mean, that might explain some of the delays, to be honest with you. I mean, like, airspace is an important thing. It's important to keep it clear, and if anything kind of like interferes with that, it's kind of like passengers on the railway lines. Like, it's not just that they have to get the passengers away, they then have to check all the railway line to make sure there aren't still passengers there. So like, even if the helium balloons are down, they're probably still having to like check things out. I don't know why I'm making excuses for these airlines. Like, I booked this flight specifically so I could make my meeting on time in Brussels, yeah, I just, that's gone out the window. you know? So, yeah, I don't know what it is, but... Passenger announcement from passenger Brentage 5000. Hey everyone, fully expected the stream to be over by the time I joined. Have some snacks on me while you wait. P.S. The Stephen King story and the movie are both The Mist. The Fog is from John Carpenter. Thank you. I love John Carpenter. I haven't seen The Fog, actually. I've been slowly trying to watch all of his films. And The Fog is, you know what, it's going to go on the list. I haven't actually read the short story The Mist, but I've seen the film and I like it. Sarah says, okay, bye while I get home. Okay, Sarah, fly safe. Eric Houston says, are you saying the Brussels roots are cooked? That's right. They're so cooked, they're practically roast Brussels? What? Yeah, anyway. That wasn't my best joke, was it? Passenger announcement from passenger Scout Tyra. The interstellar flight for Betelgeuse 7 has been moved to gate 42. This is due to issues with restocking pan-galactic gargle blasters and TALs. And I realise now maybe I shouldn't have said Betelgeuse. Should I have said Betelgeuse? Because I know they spell it that in the film, but this is a different reference. And I'm not sure I've got it right, which is why they hired me to do Tannoy announcements at the airport. Thank you. Dice Dragon Joe says, I arrived late for the stream, 5 hours early for my flight. Well, there you go. Well, hopefully whatever it is that's causing these delays will be cleared up by the time your flight actually is due to take off. Orthogonalist says, how the hell is Sarah's flight leaving while everyone else's is delayed? Private jet. It's a private jet. Like, I'm not here to judge, but like, that's why. That's why. If you had to wonder. I think that's it. Passenger announcement from passenger Tammy Boy. Glad to have something to occupy my mind while recovering from 2 fillings. Broke a tooth a couple weeks ago. Dentist spotted another needed repairing. Thank you. Sorry, but if you've broken a tooth, like, haven't you, like, give over, dentist. You've got enough work. Don't go looking for more. Be like, you know what? You should really... Well, you should get that one done as well. Nonsense. Anyway, I hope you're okay after having 2 fillings. It probably is worth it. Chris Field says, gonna risk it and find dinner outside the airport. Bye. Okay, all right. Good luck. I mean, honestly, I do not think we're going anywhere for a while, so you're probably fine. Mr. Brainley says, just got through security. It was such a chore. It was almost like I was in a work meeting. Yeah. I need to tell you about one of the times I got a pat down while I was flying home from the States. That was, I'll tell you that story in a minute. The gardening DM says, I once pet sat for a pilot who tried to pay me in flight lessons. My dad said no because I was 12. Oh, come on, Dad. Really? Zach FG says, what is happening? Hey, Zach, I'm at the airport, but all the flights are delayed. But we're making the most of it. I was like, you know, fuck it. Let's just, we'll go live. And luckily, I'm sat in a seat with one of the PowerPoints, so my phone's not going to power off anytime soon. And, like, we're keeping an ear out for announcements. Passenger announcement from passenger Will Cornish. The plane boarding at gate 2, 3 and 4 came in sideways. Thank you. I shouldn't laugh because that's gates 2, 3 and 4 out of action now for a while, which means that, you know, we're not going to clear this backlog. It must be having a hell of a time up there in air traffic control. I would not want to be them because, like, look at this board, you know? But that did at least make me laugh. Playing Akira slide. This is Matthew Firefly. Oh dear. Tattoo of her name says, so Johnny, are you a flying in lounge pants person or a dress up to fly person or something in between? I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of person. I don't like being out in public in like lounge pants. Totally get it for all the people who do. Like when you see someone going through airport security with a full-size pillow under their arm. But like, yeah, not for me. I tell you what I do though is the second I get on the plane, even before we take off, I take my boots off. I just suck it around on the plane. I hate having my boots on while I'm flying. Yeah. Jukebox 345 says jeans and a t-shirt. I didn't know you were doing that well. I know, right? There was one time I had to fly to Canada, I think it was, for work, and I had to take a full-size tripod with me, which wouldn't fit in my suitcase, and I had to check into the hold. So that became my entire luggage. I had to pack what clothes I could around the tripod for this trip because my work wouldn't let me pay for another pack. So I just had like fucking nothing with me on this trip. It was great. Will says, I've flown in sweatpants once and I got bumped to the club class with the weird pod seats that fold flat, so that was neat. Oh, hell yeah. Zach FG says, big up for Canada. Oh, yeah, Zach. Is that where you're flying to? Where you flying to today, Zach? Let me check the board. It's probably delayed, friend. It's probably delayed. Rob Vandal Kane says, do you make fists with your feet once you landed? Take off your shoes and your socks and make fists with your toes. Exactly that. Solo Lunix says, you mean you didn't try to put on all your clothing at once? Unfortunately not. No, I should have done that really. But hey, Tim Craven says, hey, sorry I'm late. Just want to say thanks for the recommendations in Hackney. The Picture House was great, and I drank so many good drinks in pubs. Hell yeah. I got home very late after the Hackney Empire show. Very late indeed. I think I got home about 4 in the morning because I just got chatting to people. I went off by myself to a metal bar and had a couple of drinks, and then Luke came and found me and was like, oh, this is nice. And then we went to a different pub where one of my friends had just finished working. And yeah, anyway, yada yada yada. Ah, dear. Emma Crook says, Phil and I managed to get back from Wisconsin via Chicago with 2 large beer glasses a few years ago. Damn, alright. Will says, oh, shout out to Toronto Airport, which due to some excellent location means that if you have a layover, you can buy a bunch of edibles and let the time fly. Oh, hell yeah. Unfortunately, I'm in an airport here in the UK, so there's nothing. I mean, I'm nearly done with this terrible airport coffee. I'll opt for something a bit stronger in a bit, I think. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well. Oh, yeah, so I was going to tell you a story about how I was getting a pat down at the airport. Because I really don't like the tubes that they make you stand in and they put your arms up and then they scan you so they can, see if you've got any stuff on you. Like, I have got stuff on me. It's my genitals, and I don't want them to have a look at those, But anyway, so you can request a pat down instead. And I requested a pat down. This guy was giving me a pat down. So I was like, arms out, blah, blah, blah. And he was telling me in advance where he was going to pat me next. He was like, okay, I'm going to do your arms now, blah, 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 blah. He did the fronts of my legs. And then he was like, okay, turn around. He was like, now I'm going to, your butt. He just lost the word for like the backs of your legs and your bum. So he just went, I'm going to, butt. And then I went, and he went, and then we were both just giggling while he frisked me. He literally just went, butt. And then we were both like, it was great. Yeah. Really good. Neck of the Kitty says, now that I have a medical implant, I have to get a pat to my chest, and I always ask they buy me a drink first. Abadosin Chulak says, I'm embarrassed how long it took me to catch on to the conceit of this stream. Look, no one expects it. You get to the airport, they're like, make sure you're there on time. And you're like, oh, yeah, absolutely, yes, of course I will. Because it sounds like my flight's gonna be departing on time. And then like, so look at this. I mean, at least flight C223 is gonna depart at all. Flight 9's just straight up and cancelled. It's terrible. I don't know. That's okay. S. Jupiter says, my mum has so much metal in her back from surgery, she has a card with her because she always sets off metal detectors. Dang. That's a lot. Oh. Passenger announcement from passenger Robin was here. Good afternoon, passengers. This is your post-pre-boarding announcement reminding our premium passengers to make sure their Chihuahua bags are properly closed, please. We are having trouble catching these Chihuahuas. Thank you. Oh, Christ. Sophina says the Chihuahuas have gotten into the turbines. That's why everything's delayed. It must be that. Yeah. There you go. Dice Dragon Joe says, I always wear the same socks to the airport. Since I have to take my shoes off for security, they make my feet look like tiny chicken feet, and I usually get a laugh. Incredible. Will says, oh yeah, do you want to hear about the worst flight I ever took? I had a 6 a.m. flight to London, in which literally everyone else was a very drunk Rangers fan on their way to an international match. I think they sung God Save the Queen about 4 times. I was on my way to a job interview. Fucking hell, Will, that sounds terrible. I'm very sorry to hear that. Alnaski the Third says, I just got here after getting here late. Have I missed my flight? Where are you flying to, please, Alnaski? I'll check for you. It's probably going to be delayed. Everyone else's is, which is why we're just here at the airport. But I'll look for you. Just tell me where you were going, and then we'll go from there. Catastrophe says, one time I flew back from Glasgow and clearly sat behind some guy coming back from a stag do. It was bumpy. We ended up passing our sick bags along the roads for him. Jesus Christ. That sounds horrible. Alan Askey says, flying to Niceland. Oh, yeah. No, that's delayed, friend. Sorry. All right, Alan Askey. Just sit tight. Solar Linux says, since my flight to Derry was cancelled, can I get a flight to Dublin? I mean, you can try. It's not going to depart on time. I mean, like, my flights weren't expensive. Like, maybe I should just cut my losses and go home and try again tomorrow. But, like, I feel like if I do that, the second I leave the airport, they're gonna just, like, call the gate, you know? Saving Santa says, once at Chicago O'Hare Airport, my mum and I nearly got run down by the most massive dude I've ever seen. It was Magic Johnson, and he was clearly about to miss his flight. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Eternal Socks of Death says we have to wait until they get cancelled to get a refund. Ugh, it's the worst, isn't it? I did one time, I think I've told you this story before, but I'm going to tell it again, because fuck it, we're in an airport. There was one time I was flying back from LA, and I was exhausted, but the flight was like really, really underbooked, and I ended up being in like on a row of 4 all by myself, and I was like, this is a dream. This is an absolute dream. So the minute we took off, I basically just fastened my seatbelt around my stomach, lay down and went to sleep. And I slept through like the whole flight. I'm a baggage claim in Heathrow, and somebody who was on the flight with me, it might have been Aoife, was like, oh, how's it going? How did you sleep? And I was like, oh, no, like, oh, no, how was your flight? And I was like, oh, it was incredible. Like, I slept for like most of the thing. And a woman I have never seen before in my life, like, I do not even remember her from the plane, just went, yeah, you were really out. Like, just butted into the conversation to tell Aoife how well I'd slept on this flight. And I was like, yeah, I guess I did. Like, in the back of my head, I'm like, who the fuck are you? What is going on? It was wild. Absolutely wild. I mean, like, I don't know if I was snoring or what, but it was just like, oh. Oh, Tegan Evans says, oh no, I'm late. I hope I didn't miss my plane. Where are you flying to, Tegan? I can check for you. The Shy By guy says, do you not watch people sleep on planes? I don't, actually, no. Weirdly. Calgary, let's check. Yeah, you're delayed. I mean, basically everything's delayed. I should have checked. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, it's yeah, it's delayed. I'm giving up on getting to Brussels, like, in time for my dinner reservation, you know. But it is what it is. Okay. Oh, passenger announcement from passenger Trippy G. A message from airport security. All Air France passengers are required to undergo a mandatory cavity search prior to boarding. Thank you. Thank you, Trippy G. I hope you're doing well. I just saw the trees announcement. That's really cool. I'm considering going this year. I think I've always kind of wanted to go, and the lineup this year looks amazing. So yeah. Anyway, fuck it. It's it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's an airport. It's a liminal space. Time doesn't really matter. And if we're going to be delayed for a while, I'd rather do it with a beer in my hand, you know. So oh, but the bar was pretty neat. They gave me a little bowl of popcorn. That's always a classy touch, you know, when you're in a bar and they're like, "Hey, here's some free popcorn." So at least we got some popcorn. Oh. Happy Bob says mandatory cavity search. The airport has a dentist. Yeah, they got everything here. Except planes that leave on time, am I right? Got him. Oh. Passenger announcement from passenger Josh Warriad. Afternoon, passengers. A reminder that even if you're an excited 9-year-old with a new toy, don't yell, "I have a gun," in the middle of an airport. This definitely isn't based off personal experience. Yeah, that sounds potentially disastrous. Like potentially fatal. It's kind of like the airport scene in Love Actually, when Liam Neeson's like, "Go on, son, run past security in an airport and go tell that girl that you really like her." That child would have been shot dead. Thoroughly a responsible thing for Liam Neeson to do in a film. Toby Marshall says, very important question, salty or sweet? Salty, always. Always salty. I can handle a mix, but I much prefer salt. So. Local Atlanta says, "Oh my gosh, that reminds me of my harrowing airport story." Here we go. This is how we get through, you know. Happy Bob says, that girl being the voice of Marceline in Adventure Time. That's true. Just another law addict says, every time I get on a flight, I always bring a bag of Skittles. No reason, I just like Skittles and having small habits to make scary things manageable. That sounds reasonable. Oh my god. Will says, I flew out of Boston Airport on about the 7th of September 2001. And the guy in front of us had a 12-inch hunting knife, which he successfully argued wasn't a weapon and he should be allowed to carry on. It was a different world. It really was. It truly was. It really, really was. Ugh. Student John says, I've just got out of hospital after surgery for an abscess, so I'm just going to lie down under a seat with my coat over me. Did they not even, Please tell me they at least offered you, to wheel you through the airport. You just got out of hospital after surgery for an abscess, you know? If you're here, I'm assuming, you've been cleared to fly, Student John, but come on. We really think that these airlines would give better support to their customers. Here we go. Local Atlantis has posted one of two. I'll wait, actually. Yowza. Kelly Tallgold says, hello, sir. I understand delays. I got delayed 3 days while I was... 3 days? Well, I was trying to go home for Christmas. A 20-hour trip turned into a 40-plus hour trip. Holy shit. Felicia Selena says, oh, are we having a drink? I'm going to see if I can't find a glass of wine somewhere. Yeah. So I went to... There's just a kind of a themed English pub that way. And if you carry on, go past the W.H. Smiths. It's before gate 18, so don't go that far. But there's like a little wine bar. They probably, I don't know if they do like take out, but like kind of feels like the rules don't apply when everyone's fucking delayed. You know what I mean? So, Student John says I'm flying. Oh, you're flying Ryanair. Okay, right. Yeah, no wonder they didn't offer. Okay. Just waiting on the second half of Local Atlantis' story, and then it's story time. James W. Frost says, I'm confused. Why are we waiting for a flight? Well, I thought I'd be in the air by now. Everything's delayed. So we're just here in the airport lounge. Just having a drink. Trying to keep each other's spirits up, you know? Table 9 Studio Games says, have we done a least or most favorite airport survey yet? No, not yet. We will, though. Felicia Selena says, thanks for the tip, have a lovely glass of red. Nice, okay, good. The Shy By Guy says, 10 minutes left of work, then I can get to that airport bar. Excellent, okay. Good stuff. Oh, least favourite Leeds Bradford, says Catastrophe. Stansted is evil. Okay, I think we've got... That's one of two. I'm not seeing the second bit. I'm going to start this anyway. Local Atlanta says, okay, so coming home from the US when I was a teen, post the big event that caused increased airport security, and my mum's bag had something in it that needed checking physically. One of two. And then... we were so lucky that the bloke was sound and didn't immediately arrest her. But why? I can't see it. There's a part 2, Johnny. I can't see the part 2. This is really weird. Hold on. Let me reload chat. Oh, fine. It's the airport Wi-Fi. I legit can't see it. That's really weird. Huh. K Galaxia says LAX is terrible, but not even being in classic movie Commando can save it, no matter how excited I get because it's in Commando. It's so bad. I hate LAX. They did redo it and make coming in easier. It used to be like... I once spent like 2 hours in the immigration queue at LAX trying to get in for E3. Really weird. Oh no. Darker Saturn says, oh, my harrowing airport story. Last time I flew, I was headed home from Iceland. Had norovirus and didn't know. Symptoms manifested after takeoff. 3-hour flight of pain, suffering and swearing. Local Atlanta says, just tagged you and resent part 2. Still nothing. Still nothing. I don't know if it... The thing is, normally messages get held. And I can see them and either approve them or not, but I'm not even getting that. It's really weird. Sarah says, I went to Gibraltar and their runway intersects with a main road, which was fun. Fucking hell. That sounds terrible. Indigo Witch says, apparently Singapore airport is lovely. I've seen pictures. They've got like a big waterfall in the middle. Solar Lunix, hold on. Solar Lunix says, public service announcement. Ringing a cuckoo clock through TSA will get your bag searched and multiple agents asking to see it. Weird. I mean, not weird. That makes sense. That's very funny. Excuse me. Bobby says, I was running late for my flight, so I got my ticket swapped while en route. But now I'm here, my replacement flight was cancelled. Luckily, my original flight got delayed, but now it's fully booked. Oh, Bobby, what are the chances, you know? Oh, wait. Your replacement flight was cancelled. Was that Flight 9? Because Flight 9's been cancelled. That's rotten luck, that is. Sorry. I'm trying to think of the best airport I've been in. None of them are very good. Like, Heathrow Terminal 5 has stuff in it. I don't really mind Heathrow. Can't remember the last time I flew from... Oh, no, I don't like Gatwick. Or Stansted. Callum says, I tried to super chat, but it didn't arrive. Weird. Oh, everything's going wrong at the airport today. I don't know what's happening. Local Atlantis says, might be the word I tried to type that is being banned. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Call Me Mug says, Manchester is acceptable. I don't think I've ever flown out of Manchester. Christine says, Fayetteville Regional was lovely. The small airports are usually nice. Oh, yeah. I've flown out of Norfolk, Virginia. That's nice enough. Rosie Fletcher says, I once read an article about teens taking mushroom chocolates and hanging out at Heathrow because of the vibes. Like, I make a point of not saying anything judgmental about, like, what the youth are doing, because, like, I felt like a lot of that just comes from generational differences and people being like, no, they're not the way we did it. And people just getting het up and feeling like the kids are doing it wrong because that's not how we did, and also because we're afraid deep down that the kids are going to laugh at us. Like, you know, the way that, like, generations above and below millennials fucking hate millennials. But Local Atlantis says, I can send it to you on Insta. It will be so anticlimactic at this stage, lol. Yeah, please do that. I'll check my message request. But taking mushroom chocolates to go hang out at Heathrow for the vibes? That's the last thing I would have put on my list of things that kids would be doing. I mean, like, I guess if you've already eaten them, like, it's not illegal to be high. So I guess, like, they don't have to worry about the increased security presence there. But Heathrow Airport is not one of the places I'd go to trip. But, you know. Amaranthine says, Portland, Oregon Airport is great. Lots of local shops and chains that I love. Nice. I will say, Carrie Jo Song says, issue is there are so few hangout spaces for young people that aren't related to spending money. Yes. We need third spaces so badly. You know, and, like, it's important, like, it is so hard to just go and exist in a place without either being moved on or spending money. A lot of that is hostile architecture and also just, you know, rampant capitalism. But yeah. Sarah says, have done mushrooms at a sea life centre, brackets amazing, but we'll put Heathrow on the list. Yeah, just, like, again, I'm not judging in any way, shape or form. It just doesn't, for me, that doesn't sound like a good time. But Aiden Folk says, support your public library. I flew out of, I guess it must have been Seattle, Tacoma. I've flown out of there a few times. That's pretty alright. It was kind of chill. Dice Dragon Joe says, good thing I packed some work to do in my carry-on. So much for going on vacation. I know, right? Where are you flying to, Dice Dragon Joe? Hey, okay. So. No, this is fucking great. This isn't in any way, shape or form anticlimactic. So Local Atlantis says, it was the last minute shove everything into this bag that needed searching in security. As soon as the guy went to unzip it, my scouse mum said, careful love, that might explode. She was mortified when she realised what she'd said. Careful, love. That might explode. Fucking incredible. Incredible. Nova Wolf 9 says the only major airport I've used is Birmingham, UK. I've been around Birmingham Airport fairly recently. Luke and I went on a little jolly around there. It was after an Oxventure live show at MCM Birmingham. So it must have been like last year, maybe the year before. And Trippy G says museums in London are free, and that is great. That is true. Museums are fucking mint. I'd go to a museum off my face. That sounds really nice. Interesting. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, Birmingham. Luke and I had done an Oxventure in Birmingham at the NEC. We were getting a train back together. We were really early for our train, and we were like, I could really use a beer. And there was no, like, pub open at the NEC, or it was the Spoons. And I refused to go to Spoons, because the guy who owns it treats his workers terribly and is a Brexiteering bastard. And we saw a sign that was like, here's the free monorail to Birmingham Airport. You're minutes away from shops and bars. And we were like, well, absolutely incredible. Let's go there then. And we were walking around the airport. Obviously, we didn't, check in and go through security or anything. We were like, where is a bar? And there wasn't one. There just wasn't one. So in the end, we found a W.H. Smith's that was selling booze. And I bought us each a can of hooch and a scratch card just for fun. And we were like, well, that was a waste. And then we were like, oh, well, I guess let's go through the barriers at the train station. So we got the monorail back. We're like, go through the barriers at the train station and just wait for the train. And that's when we realized there's a pub when you go through the barriers to the train station. We were like, we'll just have a pint there then. So anyway, that's the story of how Luke and I ended up drinking a pink lemonade can of hooch each on a train from Birmingham to London. Oh. Passenger announcement from passenger Calla. Announcement. There will be much more Oxventure this year. One of the best things on the internet. All crew members are encouraged to keep it up. Smiling emoji, party emoji, thumb up emoji. Thank you. Thank you very much, Calla. Yeah, we wrapped Weirdwood Season 3 yesterday. And I was exhausted afterwards. But it all went very well. Which is good. Nixie says, Johnny, is Oxventure coming back to MCM? I do not know. We are not, as far as I'm aware, we're not booked for any of them this year. It's possible. But I would say not probable. They stopped booking us a while ago. And never say never, but I haven't heard of us going back anytime soon. Maybe our flights aren't delayed. Passenger announcement from local Atlantis. Little Super to apologise for making you do admin. Thank you. No, that's absolutely fine, local Atlantis. It turns out you'd sent me a message before and I'd accepted and I think replied, which means that I get a notification when you message me. Don't abuse that power, but I didn't have to go through my message request or anything to see it, so. Sorrel says, I'm so excited for Weirdwood Season 3, I can't believe it's the final season. I know. I think it is right that it is the final season. But it left us with a lot to tie up. But I think we've managed it, which is really good. James W. Frost says, will Luke be doing any more Oxventure? Yes, he's obviously going to be in any of the guild shows and stuff. And I sincerely hope he's around for other one-off stuff. But yes, as the as the video said, Daggerheart's going to be it's not going to have him in it, but yeah, it's not like there's some big separation going on or anything like that. So Scott Perkins says, isn't MCM a ReadPop run event? ReadPop are not a pleasant organisation. Yes, it is run by ReadPop, who used to own Gamer Network and then sold Gamer Network. So we're no longer part of the same company, which is why the number of bookings at MCM has reduced, yada, yada, yada. But yeah. Passenger announcement from passenger Grumsons. Got told I'll probably get laid off by the end of May, and my cabin backpack for my trip to Soton in April for the grand finale of my D&D campaign arrived. Apologies for being in a mood at the lounge. Thank you! I'm really sorry to hear about the possible or probable redundancy. That fucking sucks. You know, I hope you manage to get something lined up for soon after that, and I hope that they have to pay you an absolute wedge. But that really sucks. Like, it's never a pleasant feeling. Yeah, so that really sucks. But it's cool that you're going to Sutton in April for the grand finale of your D&D campaign. I hope you're still doing that. Like, I hope you're not adjusting any plans because of the news you've got. Do not apologise for being in a mood at the lounge. Like, I mean, it's hard not to be in a mood at the lounge, right? I mean, look at how delayed everyone's flight is. It's ridiculous. So yeah. Somebody was asking about why Weirdwood Season 3 is the last one from Love Mickey. I will get onto that in a sec. Sarah says, finally properly home with Johnny on the big telly. Good luck to everyone waiting for their flights. No worries, Sarah. Yeah, you chose the right day not to fly, because goodness me. It's ridiculous, but... Passenger announcement from passenger Gecko Locator. Anyone seen a dead cow? I lost my carry-on luggage. Thank you. I enjoyed that joke very much. My carry-on luggage. Sarah says not to be super British about this, but the weather is being super weathery out there. 1 second, please. Yeah? Yeah? It's not that exciting here, but it's kind of grim out there. Aimless Banshee says, Luke said on a stream yesterday, it's just that he's freelance and wasn't asked to be in Daggerheart, but he'll be in other stuff when he can. Yeah, that's exactly it. Gumpton says, I'm not planning on skipping D&D. It's our Oops All Bards campaign. I'm not going to be on the screen if I can help it. Perfect. Incredible. Right. Johnny, is there a non-story related reason why Weirdwood is ending with Season 3? People in the comments of the announcement were very confused. Not particularly. We kind of, we started it, the idea behind Weirdwood when we started writing it was just like, we want something that can run for a long time if we want, but also that we can tie up sooner if we decide to do something different. And like, I think, like, I'm really pleased with Weirdwood, and I really like how it all went over and how people responded to it and the characters and the story stuff. I think there also was a feeling from like a decent enough chunk of the core audience that like maybe we went a little bit too hard on the folk horror, and maybe it was like a little bit more intense and serious than like perhaps people were used to or necessarily wanted. And like, I kind of like, after Season 2, I was talking to Zach and I was like, how soon do you think we should wrap this up? And then we sort of had a conversation. I think actually we can do this really neatly in 3 seasons. And so like it's I wasn't told that I had to start. Like, it was a decision that I was very much involved with, and like it feels like a good time to end it for me. And I think also like partly like with the times we've been living in, it can take a lot out of us to like record something like that, and also, you know, to play something very serious. And I think we were all of us kind of being a bit like, wouldn't mind getting back to the silliness, you know? So yeah, it's like, it's kind of like all of these decisions, like there's several moving parts in why we've decided to do it. But like I am like I'm happy with the decision. I'm excited for Daggerheart. And yeah, Alexander Hampton says wrapping up on a high note isn't a bad thing, no. Like Table 9 Studio Games says, I really love Weirdwood setting and world, but I saw the after show extra bit of Daggerheart and felt like I saw a glint in everyone's eye that said we have to do that again. Exactly, like there's an abundance of enthusiasm for playing Daggerheart and getting real silly with it, and I think we're going to make some really good stuff. I will say, no spoilers, but some of the stuff in Weirdwood Season 3, I think is some of the best role-playing that I've ever seen from that group. There's some stuff that, no disrespect to them, I didn't know that they had in them. And it's like, yeah, it was good. Like, I think Season 3 is really going to hit. So, yeah. Just Another Lore Addict says, I do enjoy Weirdwood, and my husband and I love to watch the new episodes together, but it is kind of hard to recommend Weirdwood specifically to our friends. I recommend all the other stuff, though. Yeah, it's a hard sell. And, like, the thing is, they told me, like, after the guild, they were like, pitch us something, do whatever you want. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And they were like, great, yeah, cool, really enthusiastic for it. And then I came in and I was like, oh, I've really gone for it, though. Like, I've really gone for the horror element. And, like, I think after 3 seasons, I think we're just ready to be very silly again. So, I think it's going to be very good. Yeah, we could reuse a setting at some point. Never say never with going back to Weirdwood, but... Ooh, hold on one sec. Sorry, it's my parents asking if I got on the plane okay. No, that's weird. For a second there, the airport sounded like it was a YouTube advert. Noverwolf says, wanting more Traveller silliness. There's nothing to say we wouldn't do Traveller again as well. After we do Daggerheart, we don't know what we're doing next, so, like, I think we're, yeah, we're just gonna play around and see. Solo Linux says, how do you prepare for a session? I've been flailing, hopefully in a positive way, as I'm DMing for a hubby and a friend. I sort of... There's a couple of videos on Dicebreaker where I talk to Luke about how I run Oxventure. These are from a while ago, they're from the pandemic, when my beard was just, like, very long and didn't look good. But in that I talk about how I, like, plan backwards. If I'm like, what's the big bad, what's the big confrontation, or what's the big moment I want them to have, then I go backwards from that, and I'm like, okay, to lead up to that, what's the information that they need to learn, where is that information, who is there, yada yada yada. That works for me, to put it very succinctly. I'd say those videos are probably still useful to watch. So we'll see from there, really. But, sorry, just gonna... Yeah, no. Thing about an airport delay. Oh, the Indigo Witch says my husband used those videos to teach game design when he was a lecturer. That's lovely. The thing about an airport delay, right, is that you're like, it's like, kind of like a bell curve. You know, you're like, oh, we're delayed. That's not too much fun, but, you know, at least, you know, that's kind of the adrenaline of, like, is it happening, is it not? And you start to sort of settle in, and then you're like, all right, we're here. And then you just sort of reach this bit at the bottom where you're like, it feels like we're never getting out of here. They're not telling us anything, and suddenly I'm no longer comfortable in my surroundings. You know that bit where you're just like, you get tetchy because you're there, and then, you know, maybe you get a little tidbit of information, maybe you drink a couple more beers, and you sort of start to think, all right, yeah, maybe this is kind of fun. And then you're like, oh, thank God it's happening. I feel it was somewhere in the bell curve, you know. It's just like, I like a liminal space as much as the next person, but geez. Love Mickey says, at what point are we making camp here at the airport? We've got at least 2 people sleeping under the seats. Yeah. Cookie Cat says, I've given up. Started getting the keyring making suppliers out. If you're busy, the planes lower their guard. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, Novawolf says, anyway, catch you next time. /VOD, off to make dinner. Okay, bye. Bye-bye, Novawolf. I don't blame you for giving up on your flight. Yeah. Brendan Jelly says, I absolutely fell in love with Blades in the Dark after you played. I just bought the sequel book too. Did you see there's now Blade 68, which moves the timeline forward to the swinging 60s? I did. It sounds amazing. I love Blades. It's very, very good. Phil's Chainmail says, yes, I made it so I can wait with everyone. Yay. Where are you flying to, Phil? We can check on your flight for you if you want. Solo Lunix says, I've broken into the Amelia Earhart Lounge and I'm making a giant blanket fort. Everyone here is welcome to join me. Alright. Annie Bengtson, damn it, says, I'm back with a £35 mango margarita. Gotta love the airport. That's a good choice. I've just gone for like a Hobgoblin Gold beer, and this was £27. So, Luke Gray says, I'm in. Alright. Dice Dragon Joe says, we need a 2-point stream after this with Johnny acting as Tannoy. Doctor required an inflator room. Rosie Fletcher says, I've given up pretending to work and I'm picking up Stardew Valley. Yeah. What's everyone else doing? Felicia Selena says, time for a break. My lovely glass of red in an airport really isn't conducive to grading reading comprehension tests. Fair. Mr. Blue Deck says, this is my 5th cup of £10 cop. Well, it sounded like a plane left then. Marble Harbour says, napping. That's fair. Well, we'll update you if they call the gate. Happy Bob says, I can't believe I forgot to mention my flight. I'm on Oceanic 815. Oh, yeah, no, that's delayed. That's delayed. Indigo Witch says, I'm reading a book before I forage for food. Nice. Tammy Boy says, eating beef, mushroom, and jasmine rice stir fry. Damn, where'd you get that from? All I found was popcorn. Pomelo Boomslang says, getting over a flu and buying tickets to a Drag King brunch. That sounds fucking amazing. And yes, you know what? If you're delayed doing something you've got tickets for, best thing to do, buy tickets for something else, so you've got something to look forward to. Table 9 Studio Games says, sounds like they found the PF Changs. Dear oh dear. Oh, Aiden Folk says, probably a good thing it's delayed, it would just get lost. Oh, I missed that. I missed that joke. Oh, fuck. Tammy Boy says there's an Asian fusion place near Gate 7. Alright, brilliant. Orthogonalist says, well, I'm off. Apparently my flight was replaced with a replacement hot air balloon. Wish me luck. Good luck. Tegan Evans says, I just got some chips from the pub. Would not recommend. A little bit burned. How do they... Like, okay, airports. Stressful situation. You've got to go through security just to get to your job in a pub. But chips aren't that hard to make, you know? I don't know. Grumson says, waiting for the rice cooker to finish my rice and teriyaki chicken. How did you get a rice cooker in your carry-on? That's wild. Bobby says, I saw you drink out the corner of my eye and thought you were drinking directly from a full-size wine bottle, and honestly, big airport energy. Wouldn't be the first time. Catastrophe says, I just got airport sushi because I like to live dangerously. Brilliant. I've had that before. I once was flying back from the States, and I was so hungry, and I bought this, like, pesto chicken sandwich from just, like, whatever the shop is in American airports where they've got, like, magazines and snacks and stuff. And I, like, wolfed it down just before we got on the plane, and sort of, like, the last bite I had, I just bit into it, and I was like, this is going to make me sick, isn't it? It's going to make me really ill. And then I was, for the first hour of the plane, I was like, I've probably given myself food poisoning. I hadn't, it was fine, but still. Avronell says, I think I'm going to give up on the flights and take the bus to the library instead. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Jukebox345 says, going to ask if I can sneak behind one of the restaurants and make a mug cake. If you bring your own mug, they generally let you. It was one of the hacks about airports. Just Man Bun is fine, says I got some veggie dumplings, but they were falling apart. Well, yeah, they just sit them there in the little steam bath for ages, don't they? I don't know. I mean, again, there are worse airports to be in, but, like... DCS Duck says, hi, what airport are we waiting at here, and where are we going? I'm trying to get to Brussels. I've got dinner reservations that I'm not going to make. And I've got a big meeting tomorrow. But, like, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Everything's so delayed, my flight's not even on the board anymore, and I should be in the air by now. So, what can you do? What airport are we waiting at? We're at the airport. We're at the airport. We're in the airport lounge. Where are you flying to? DCS Ducks? I'll check for you. Ah, Hudson News Foods. That's right. Thank you, Rustifer. I used to, one of my favourite things, because, like, there was a period when I was going to the States for, like, 4 times a year for work. And every time I'd buy my ex the ugliest fridge magnet I could find in the airport. It had to be the ugliest. I recruited other people to look for me before. Like, well, help me look. I think one of my favourite ones was the California one. It was from LA. And it was just like, it was just the torso of a buff white guy with like big pecs and a 6-pack wearing like Hawaiian shorts. But he had his shoulders like that and then no arms below that, had no legs, and the head was the bottle opener bit. That was a particularly good one. Also quite good was, again, California. It was a California taco that had diamantes embedded in it. That was pretty good. The Philadelphia cheesesteak one, that was pretty good too. Sarah says I was doing something else, but I heard Buff Man and I'm back. I don't think it's here. Hold on. No, I don't think Buff Man keyring is here. Not keyring, bottle opener. Oh, yes he is. Hold on. Here he is. Here he is. I forgot. He's in my carry-on luggage. There you go. Absolutely stunning. Obviously it's keying out because it's shiny, but there he is. There you go. There he is. Best stuff, best stuff. Oh, $5.99 he was. You can't beat airport tat, you know. Sarah says my boyfriend Buffman bottle opener. Just brilliant. Alan Askey says, oh, there's free alcohol and non-alcoholic drinks for all delayed passengers with a vowel in their name. Or just be ambient and do crimes and steal a plane. Oh, let's not steal a plane, though. Because I really think that's going to slow down all the other flights. Luke Gray says, rip-off? $5.99? For this piece of art? It's not a rip-off at all. I love this guy. Trippy G says, Hobgoblin Brewpub, Undergate 666. See you there. Yeah, fuck it. I don't even have a gate, so I may as well go to one of them. Captain Krumbo says, evening all, are we bum rushing the business class lounge yet? Not yet. We were thinking about it, but then we heard that they've only got Prosecco, not actual champagne. The Rivers Pass is about to go do some yard work. If you'll ever get to take off, I'll wave as you fly over. Oh, thank you. I mean... Oh, Sarah says I'm on my way right now, sprinting from my gate. Where are you going? Oh shit, Neko the Kitty bought a bunch of the smut books from the kiosk. Hell yeah. I've started watching Heated Rivalry. Apparently the books are very explicit. The TV show, not so much. It's a very good television show. I like it a lot. I'm only 2 episodes in, so no spoilers, please. But it's very, very good. I think I was just very tired yesterday. But episode 2 made me tear up, like, several times. It's just very, very good. And, like, the yearning. And the conversation Ilya had with his dad. It's, like, it's heartbreaking. But also, here's something that I've noticed. While I am watching Heated Rivalry, I think it's because we've all seen so much media with queer couples in which they just get put through the worst shit. You know how, like, cinematically, like, gay couples in film, like, they have a ridiculously high, like, fatality rate. Because they're just like, oh, it's a gay couple. Let's see how much we can traumatize them. / the audience. No, Traveling Potato. Luke didn't recommend it to me. I mean, it's kind of everywhere, right? But, right. Because queer media is so rife with queer couples just going through the worst and most tragic shit. I find that every time I'm watching this show, I'm really like holding this tension in my chest because I'm like, when's it all going to go fucking wrong? When's it all going to come crashing down? When is something terrible about to happen? So then every single time, like, they just sort of, but not all the way, but still mostly get what they want. I'm like, huh. Like, every episode where their lives don't implode feels like a gift. It's really, really weird. And Trippy G says fine asses. Also, yeah, like, those are some pert butts right there. Yeah, it's a very good show. I like it a lot. I think the lighting is amazing. The general production is fantastic. I know that like the budget was really, really small. I think they've done a really good job with it. So, Jim says, what are we saying about the automatic massage chairs, Lounge? I don't normally go for them, but like maybe it's kind of like lighting a cigarette when you're waiting for a bus. Like maybe the second we get in the chairs, they'll call all our gates. So we don't get to enjoy the chairs, we do at least get to go somewhere. Yeah. Secret Crimson says, picked up a copy of Dangerous Crow Boy near Gate 7. It's certainly something. Is that smart? Sarah says, I'm about to start a rewatch of 90s Pride and Prejudice because I love Yearning. Yearning's great. I should stop eating so much airport popcorn. Because if I eat too much airport popcorn, I'm going to be really thirsty. And then I'm going to have to like get up and pee all the time. And if we have turbulence, then I'm just going to be like busting. So. Whoa, Nausea says Ingrid Bergman just walked past. No way! What's the most famous person you've ever seen in an airport? I checked in at Heathrow next to Jarvis Cocker. We made eye contact. And I didn't say anything. I think probably the most famous, though, I saw Viggo Mortensen. He was wheeling an elderly lady around in a wheelchair, and he seemed rather unhappy with the airport staff because I just don't think they were helping in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't a dick about it. He just looked like a frustrated passenger who happened to be Aragorn, son of Arathorn. But yeah, that's the most famous person I've seen in an airport. Trippy G says Chris Jericho at LAX. Fuck yeah, that's amazing. Cool. Nausea says Sarah Pascoe. That's a good one. Tattoo of her name says I bumped into Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys at Logan Airport in Boston. Yes, that's very good. Aiden Folk says I was on the same train as Michael Portillo. He was wearing red trousers. Oh, fuck! Reckle and Hyde is going to be listening to the stream for a bit. But if we're talking TV, I'm watching Twin Peaks for the first time, and I'm having a fantastic time. That show's so fucking good. Tim Craven says, Andrew Lloyd Webber cut me up in Heathrow, put me off his music for ages. That is exactly the kind of grudge I am here for. Fuck your career. Why did you cut me up like that? Absolutely incredible. Fist of Fury says, mine is incredibly underwhelming. When I was a kid, it was Premier League referee, whose name I can't even fully remember, Paul something, Ibiza Airport. That's beautiful. I love that. I'm all in for that. Sarah says, wrapped in plastic. Fellas, don't drink that coffee. There was a fish in the percolator. I saw somebody with a tattoo, well, I saw it online, but I saw a tattoo of a percolator with a fish popping out the top. And oh my god, I envied it so much. Solo Lunix says, is Watson flying with us? Watson doesn't take public transport anymore. I decided this year, she went on holiday with me in January to Dorset, and then she's retired from public transport because it just stresses her out too much. She just like shakes bodily now when she's on like a bus or a train or the tube or whatever, and I just thought, you know what? She's 9. She's earned some peace and quiet. If it means I have to get more friends to dog sit, it means I have to get more friends to dog sit. But Sarah says Watson's a passenger princess now. Exactly. She's allowed, like, if it's an absolute emergency, I'll take her on public transport, but I'm really trying not to. But like short trips in a car are okay. Like a friend gave me a lift home the other day with the dog, and that was fine. So Although she did come with me to the airport to see me off, so she's asleep at my feet right now. Happy Bob says, never seen a celebrity at an airport. I did once serve Ben Folds at the supermarket I worked at. A wild moment, given I like his music. We talked about the price of bananas. Real. Grumson says, an author we were all forced to read and over-dissect in school was in the cafe in front of me and bought the last of the pastries I was going to get. I am now her nemesis, the weapon of her undoing. Name and shame, Grumsons. Who was it? Was it Carol Ann Duffy? Name and shame the author. They don't deserve anonymity. You're being too good for them. Love Mickey says, I think that's more than fair. I get Ubers for my cats. Why? Where are they going? Carrie Jo Song says, I once served Casper Lee at a cinema I worked at. Was the cinema in an airport? Wish there was a cinema in this airport. I was actually once on a flight that was so delayed I had the opportunity to watch the entirety of Piranha 3D on an iPad. That killed some time. It wasn't in 3D, obviously. But, I don't know. It's not even worth checking, is it? Yeah, they're all delayed. Okay. What can you do? What can you do? Carrie Jo Song, sadly not. No airport spotting. Me. Uh-oh, Grumson says it was hele hele. Good luck with the pronunciation. I don't know. Hele hele. Sarah says, remember when IKEA had the little cinemas that played Tom and Jerry cartoons so your mum could leave you there while she did her shopping? I do not remember this at all. What? Jilbel says Ozzy Osbourne waved politely while I was in line for an ATM. That's fucking cool. IKEA used to have little cinemas that played Tom and Jerry so your mum could leave you there while she did her shopping? Oh, apparently I nailed that pronunciation. Thank you, Grumsons. I did once. There was one time I was taking a ferry from Dublin to Wales. I was taking a ferry to the UK from Dublin, and I hadn't slept the night before. I'd been at a festival, and I had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning to make this ferry. And then they had a cinema seat, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to get in a cinema seat and sleep. And there was no film on when I was trying to get to sleep. And then they started playing Bambi 2, in which Bambi's father tries to raise Bambi and is overly stern, and so is always just yelling at Bambi. And Bambi's father is played by Sir Patrick Stewart, excuse me. And it was the worst sleep of my life. I was exhausted. It had been raining for the last 36 hours of the festival, so my boots were absolutely sodden through and they were rubbing my feet red raw. And I was just trying to sleep, and every now and then Patrick Stewart would be like, Bambi! It was fucking horrible. So it felt like I met Patrick Stewart on a ferry, and he was very angry with me. Anyway. Passenger announcement from Rihanna C. PSA for my girlfriend Caitlin, who after nearly 30 hours in A&E still managed to smash a job interview, now to chill with our favourite streamer, and then escaping to Devon tomorrow. Thank you. I say you probably are escaping to Devon tomorrow with all of these delays. Honestly. Yeah, there it is. Your flight to Devon's delayed. At least Devon Airport, though. Lovely arrivals. Lovely arrivals at Devon Airport. Really fantastic. Just great. Yeah. Cracking airport. I hope you have a lovely time. 30 hours in A&E and then a job interview is wild. So, yeah, genuinely incredible work, Caitlin. I'm really glad you smashed that interview. I look forward to them giving you the job. Toby Marshall says, Johnny, was that actually just a sleep deprivation-induced hallucination? I think Bambi 2 is a real film. And I think... I think Sir Patrick Stewart's in it. That or, yes, I hallucinated it. The Aracusian says, do you fly Suave and Devon Air? Very good. Oh, Mr. Tom for the Wind's arrived. Hey, welcome to the airport lounge, Mr. Tom. Where are you flying to? I'll check your flight. So I would have told you I was here. I'm supposed to be in the air by now. I didn't think I'd see you. Mr. Tom says, wow, can't believe you took your mic and PC to the airport just to stream for us. Well, I'm tethering off my phone, but I'm sat next to a wall socket. It was like under my seat, so like it's not gonna, so it's fine. Okay, Love Mickey says, I remember Bambi too. Okay, great. But yeah, where are you flying to, Mr. Tom? Bob P. Caramel says, hope you get where you're going safely and soundly. Well, we're mentioning hallucinatory films. Lion King 1.5? That's the film from the perspective of Timon and Pumbaa, isn't it? I haven't seen it, but I think that's what the plot is. Lion King 2 has an absolutely banging soundtrack. All right. Oh, Mr. Tom says Japan? May as well. I've always wanted to go. Well, mate, you're not going anytime soon. That flight is delayed. Which is unfortunate. It's ridiculous. I mean, like, they've made a lot of announcements on the tannoy, but not one of them about the ongoing delays. It's really weird. Happy Bob says, again, not an airport, but I once saw Mike Farrell from MASH using a parking meter in Adelaide. I was on the other side of the road and couldn't cross in time to frankly probably embarrass myself. Sometimes being able to step away from a thing and go, well, I didn't embarrass myself is pretty good. I've definitely told this story before. Oh no, Eternal Socks of Death says I'm definitely not making my connecting flight. Where's your connecting flight from? Maybe they're having issues too. I can look it up if you want. Just let me know. Names Next 6160 says, have we figured out what's causing the delays yet? No, they haven't told us anything. It's ridiculous. Smugborgan says, oh man, flight's still delayed, time for another airport beer then. Yeah, no, everything is just delayed. Like Flight 9. Sorry to all the passengers who were trying to get on Flight 9, but that's not happening. I've definitely already told the story about the time I spotted Michael Gambon in the street, but I'm going to tell it again because apparently I love reliving past embarrassments. I was walking along the street with my friend in central London, and Michael Gambon walked out of a building and started walking down the street, and I turned to my friend and went, that's Michael Gambon. Except I didn't. I turned to my friend and went, that's Michael Gambon! And then looked at Michael Gambon, who heard me, made eye contact with me, and was like, he's just like, why are you yelling that I'm here? And then we walked past each other, and my friend was like, that was terrible, you're an idiot. It's great. A vague silhouette says, drat, I fell asleep and just woke up. Is my flight boarding yet? Where are you going? Where are you going? Lol, poor Michael Gambon. Yeah, I just bellowed. Just bellowed at him. Listen, I don't think... I mean, every single flight on the board... Sorry, I know it's behind me, but I can also see it. Every flight on this fucking board's delayed. It's just not happening today. I don't know. Anyway... Hopefully we'll hear something like over the tannoy soon. Crispy Goss says, according to flight radar, the plane I'm supposed to get on hasn't even left the airport it's arriving from yet. Oh, that's rough. Please tell me that's not the flight to Brussels. That's just, that would be terrible. Oh! Passenger announcement from Silver Tongue Soliloquy. Getting to watch a Johnny stream at work and not get in trouble because my boss is also watching and said Johnny's stream is great. Here's a little for snacks and drinks while you wait for the plane. Thank you. Aw, that's good. Thank you very much, Silver Tongue Soliloquy, and thank you very much, Silver Tongue Soliloquy's boss, for being cool with this. You know, just glad everyone's keeping their temper around here, you know, like, tempers get frayed when there are delays at the airport, it has to be said. Tim Craven says, I'm due to board flight 180 to Paris. How's it looking? Not good. It's delayed, it's not cancelled, but you know as much as I do at this point. I've got no idea. Yeah, really weird. Regarding DM says, somehow my checked baggage is already at my destination, but my flight hasn't left yet. Where are you due to go? Elliot Bedwell Mint says, using the airport kitchen to whip up a bolognese. Anyone for a portion? I'll be by gate 14. Yeah, put me down for some of those. Thomas Damasi says, lol, were you at least drunk or high, Johnny? No, I was completely sober when I yelled, that's Michael Gambon, at Michael Gambon. So there we go. But yeah. Oh! Passenger announcement from passenger Cara Dennison. The baby guinea pig has been adopted. That's passenger Cara Dennison. The baby guinea pig has been adopted. Thank you. Well, congratulations, Cara Dennison. And more importantly, thank you very much for giving a 1-month-old abandoned baby guinea pig a chance at a better life. Do you have a name in mind? That's fucking awesome. Thank you, Cara. You're brilliant. Oh, the gardening DM says Denver. All right, let me just look up Denver Airport for you. I'm also behind the information desk. Did I mention that? Let's see. I'm on the Wikipedia now. Denver International Airport, often referred to by locals as DIA, although its international airport code is DEN. Let's see. Runway length of 16,000 feet. Primarily serves metropolitan Denver, Colorado. Obviously, opened on February 28th, 1995. There's nothing on here about your luggage. Regarding DM, sorry about that. I'll see what I can. I'll see what I can find. But you know, Hetnikick says, "What did I stumble into today?" Oh yeah, no, sorry, a bit of an ad hoc stream. I'm here at the airport. All the flights are delayed. So we're making the most of it, you know, like I've had some popcorn, like I've got a beer on the go, and, you know, like, we'll hear eventually, you know, like, I was flying out of Serbia once and we were delayed on the tarmac for ages because it was snowing in London. It was like, but we're in Serbia, there's much more snow here, but it was London that was a problem. So there we go. Rustifer says, if it's any consolation for Michael Gambon, I once made eye contact with David Lynch without realising it was David Lynch until much later. Wow, that must have been weird. To, like, think back to a memory and David Lynch was there? Trippy G says, should me get beer? Yeah, I think you should. These delays are not letting up. I mean, just look at the fog outside. Visibility's terrible. Grumble says, I wonder what the smallest airport in the world is. I bet they got grounded. Okay, what was that? Like, you heard that, right? That was a plane taking off. I didn't hear them board a fucking thing. Anyway, you know what? It's actually... I shouldn't be upset. Like, I should be happy for all the people on that plane. And if a plane is taking off, that means more planes. They've got to be taking off, right? There's got to be more planes. Okay, we're going to be all right. I don't know. Love Mickey says, I think that was all of our luggage. Right, yeah. Yeah. It's all the pilots going home, says Triffy G. Oh, dear. Yeah. Well, what can you do? Neck of the Kitty says, I went to law school with a member of Team USA Swimming, and it took me 5 months before I recognised him. Damn. I spent like 2 hours the other day talking to somebody I just met, and we're having a lovely time chatting. And then he was like, oh, what's your Instagram? And I gave my Instagram, and then it showed friends in common. And I was like, how do you know that person? And then he told me, and I had a flashback. I was like, oh my God. We were at the same house party like 2 years ago. And I was like, we were at the same house party 2 years ago. And he went, oh my God, yeah, you were. You were there with your dog. And I was like, yeah. And what I didn't tell him was that at that house party, I thought he was an asshole. I remember being like, I don't know who this guy is, but I hope he fucking leaves. I actually had a lovely time talking to him the other week. But yeah, at that party, I did not care for that man. I shouldn't be telling this story in case he sees this. It's probably fine. Just Man Bun is fine says, Johnny, what are you going to Brussels for again? Oh, I've got dinner reservations tonight, and then I've got like a big meeting tomorrow. But I mean, like, forget dinner reservations, right? You know, I'll be lucky if I can like order room service at this point. Had you been drinking, says Nausea? Yes, at both points. But yeah, it was just wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah. Ow. Danny Rodvick says, this was nice to calm my nerves, but it's time to try to get my cat to the vet for suture removal. Wish me luck, because she is wickedly difficult to wrangle. See you all next time. Take care, Danny. I hope the suture removal goes really well. Dark and Emo says, are you eating sprouts there? Yeah, probably. I'll have some. Yeah. Matt James says, if anyone is going to bring a dog to anything, Johnny will bring their dog to this house party. Well, it was at my friend's flat, and they've got like a big garden, but they also had this raised planter. The raised planter was about 3 feet tall, and Watson jumped into it, and there were no plants in it, but it was full of soil, and she went and just started digging, and that was her for the whole night. She planted herself. Like, she dug until she got too warm, and then lay down to cool her stomach down on the soil, and then did it again, and then got out for some water, and then got back in, and just dug for the whole night. It was fucking great, actually. Sorry, one sec, I've got to remove my... is it me, or is the air conditioning kind of playing up in this airport lounge? I'm a bit warm. Maybe it's because I'm having a beer. Like, I don't know. I'm going to take my jumper off either way. Give me one sec. If they call my flight, just let me know, okay? And I'm taking my headphones off. Oh, God. Well, I've lost my glasses. Silo Linux says, I've just followed on Instagram simply to see Watson, lol. Yeah, do it. 9 years of Watson photos on there. Matt James says, zero shade. I absolutely want to bring my dog everywhere. This is a chance to do the Mitchell and Webb Scooby-Doo sketch line. Oh, I didn't get it, sorry. Okay. Oh. Norju says, as a famous person, do you mind folk wandering up to you in Tesco or equivalent or in a lounge? I would definitely disagree with the notion that I'm a famous person. Occasionally people have come up to me in public. No, I never mind it. It's never not weird, but it's never not nice. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, it seems like they're taking off more regularly now. That's only got to be a good thing. Folk Dance says, Johnny wasn't going to Brussels, were they? That flight just boarded. What? Oh, no, I'm good. So, no, that was a different one. I was... my flight's still up there. We're cool. We're alright. Nausea says, okay, niche person. Yeah, no, I never mind it. It's always nice. Like, people are generally very respectful. And just, like, get to have a nice little chat. So, yeah, it's good. So, yeah, it's always fun. The Gardening DM says that was just the luggage flight to Brussels. Oh, okay, alright. Phew. Neko the Kitty says, at this point, I think it'd be quicker if I built my own plane and powered it with pedal power. Well, I did see it, like, one of the gift shots. They got, like, Meccano sets. Grumson says, Sleep Hallucination asked, did I imagine a video of Tiny Watson in a dinosaur costume at one point? No, that's real. It's not. It's unlisted on my channel now because I just used to use this YouTube channel for shit posting before I started actually making videos on it, back when I worked at, like, Eurogamer. But it's real. Hold on. Search across your channel. I think it's this. Oh, no, it's called... Okay, it's called Sorry Watson. Because... There it is. Because she was in a dinosaur costume that was meant to be for a cat. Okay, here we go. It's in chat now. It's 41 seconds. Give that a watch if you like. Alexander Hansen says, I'm still waiting for my food. The lines haven't gone better. Oh, bloody hell. Ooh, Emma Crook says, time for a pomegranate mead with cola because it's pretty nice. I hate mead. I hate it. I love that other people like it, but I would try that. That sounds alright. Sarah says, I once saw streamer Johnny Chiodini on the street and they refused to take a selfie with me, so I don't know if they're telling the truth about never minding it. Motherfucker, I have photos of us together on the street in fucking Durham after like 3 pints together. Fucking, they refused to take a selfie with me. Fucking. God, Watson was adorable. Still fucking is. She's brilliant. Sarah says, oh, it's been a while since we got to tick off Hates Mead on the bingo card. not my fault. I just fucking hate mead. What terrifying blue glowing eyes, says Nausea. Sarah says, I just want to start some drama in the airport. That's fair. Oh, Random L says, I literally did a little cry at that video of Watson. There was, oh my fucking god, there was one time I was with Lolies. Captain Krimbo says, to Johnny's credit, I've seen those photos. There we go. There was one time I was in the airport. I was flying back from Philadelphia. I was flying back from PAX Unplugged with Lolies from Dicebreaker. And we got talking to American ladies who were like, oh, where you heading? And blah, 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 blah. And they twigged that Lolies is Irish. And they were like, oh, I'm Irish. But I'm Irish in that, like, it goes back 15 generations or whatever kind of way. Which is fine. You know, like, I get it. Like, American people are proud of their Irish heritage. And this lady was like, I go over every couple of years. I love it. Like, I go back to where my ancestors came from. Yada, 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 yada. And Lolies was, like, styling it out. Lolies was like, oh, that's really nice. You know, that's really cool. Yeah. Okay. And then this lady started correcting Lolies on stuff about Ireland. And, like, telling her what was what. It's been like, because the thing you need to understand about Ireland is, and Lolies was like, I literally fucking grew up in Cork. Like, but this woman was just bowling over her and like running through her to tell her what Ireland's like. And I was just sat there, like, oh God, where even were we? We were in some sort of chain restaurant. I was having buffalo chicken nachos, which was a real mistake. Actually, that's the only time I've ever been sick on a plane. They did not agree with me, and I went and threw up in the toilet. But I did at least have an enormous beer. It was one of those airport bars where they were like, do you want a normal-sized beer, or do you want a hilarious one? And it was ages before our flight, so I did at least have a very big beer with me while I watched my friend Lolies flying to London on her Irish passport, having lived in Ireland for almost her entire life, getting told about Ireland. It was wild, absolutely wild. Yeah. Tattoo of her name says, it's like when my wife mentions being Polish, people who at most have been to Krakow on a stag weekend want to tell her all about herself, and it is so frustrating. Jesus Christ. Wow. That's brutal. Oh. Are any of you on Delta Flight 697? Hey, shit! They're boarding a flight at Gate 23. Did you hear that? Alright, it seems like someone's getting on a plane today. Not just Sarah on her private jet. Okay, cool. Alright, great. Solar Lunix says, I'm naturalized Irish but born American. Am I American Irish or Irish American? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Curious. Tattoo of her name says, Gate 23 is going to the Delta Quadrant. Oh, yeah, there's never fog in the Delta Quadrant. That's probably why. Okay, alright. Well, oh, God. Excuse me. Grumson says, once spoke to an English guy who got so excited to hear I was Danish because he loved all things Danish. Respectfully, or was it weird? Grumson's. Sarah says, oh, sick, I have a private jet. I'm doing loops over the airport. Yeah, when you said you were going, it was like, well, how's Sarah getting on a plane? And someone was like, Sarah's got a private jet. And I was like, yeah, all right. Captain Crumbo says, yeah, when I admitted I was an alien to Buzz Aldrin, he wouldn't stop telling me about the moon like I wasn't birthed from a pulsating mound of eggs there, for fuck's sake. Wow. Dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alice Amarellis says, why did no one, brackets YouTube, tell me airport stream was today? Well, I didn't think I was. I didn't think there was going to be an airport stream today, but then, like, just all these delays. Like, look at this. Well, that must be the flight to Boston going. whichever one it was, the Delta flight. So that's good, but like the rest of us should be so lucky. There's no flights going out of here at all. Yeah. Oh. Passenger announcement from passenger James Nottingham, 1430. Being stuck at an airport is never fun. Treat yourself. Oh, James, that's so kind. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, hang on. Thank you. James, that's so kind. Thank you very much. That's a very big tannoy announcement you just dropped. You know, we're making the most of being stuck here at the airport, you know? Oh, Grumson says, sorry, posted before finishing the anecdote. The English guy kept calling Denmark Denmarkland. Okay, that's a choice. Oh, dear. Grumble says, I've literally just been served an ad for private charter flights underneath the video. Oh, that's fucking funny. But yeah, no, thank you again, James Nottingham. Being stuck at an airport is never fun, but I like to think we're having a little bit of fun here in the airport lounge. You know, like, it feels like we've made a few people smile going past. They're like, hey, at least they're making the most of it. You know? So, yeah. Wind of Horror 666 says, just my luck, I missed the start of the stream, but wait, the flights were delayed. Rejoice. Yeah, no. Very few planes taking off here from the airport. So, you know, I mean, I've been here nearly 2 hours just waiting on a gate. So, like, yeah, no, it's fine. Nausea says, time for hide and seek. I always get nervous about sticking my head in where it's not wanted in airports. That's how you get into a Die Hard 2 kind of situation. Alexander Hansen says, they're saying my food will be ready in 10 minutes or so. Okay, good. Yeah, thanks. Sarah says, Johnny, I think it's very cool that you didn't go for the first Google image search result for cancelled board, but went for one a few pictures down. I don't know what you mean, Sarah. It's clearly a live feed from behind me. Grumson says, and no one has pulled out their acoustic guitar and made a song about us all being sat here equals huge win. Oh, Christ, yeah. Honestly, I think anyone who pulls out a guitar in an airport in an attempt to, like, liven things up should immediately be escorted from the airport, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. The first few Google image searches were watermarked, Sarah. Haywire says, I'm waiting for a random loud voice among the various passengers to shout, that's Johnny Chiodini! No one's ever approached me in an airport. I did get a message from somebody. I was flying back from Seattle, like it must have been 2023. That's the last time I went abroad. Someone saying, was I hallucinating, or did you just fly out of Seattle to Tacoma? And I was like, no, that wasn't me. Oh, Lost Ark 6555 says, thankfully no couple nearby who are clearly breaking up soon and you can't get away. God, I love those. God, I love those. Jilbel says, quietly puts away ukulele. Yeah, you'd better. You'd better. Dave Tech says, has anyone ever seen Tom Hanks at an airport? Only in that film. Robin was here, says, in my house we call them Johnny Streamadini. I like it. Yeah, no, still delayed. Okay. Sometimes Johnny D and Dini. Johnny D and Dini's pretty good. Not an easy surname to make, quote-unquote, amusing nicknames from. Tattoo of her name says, I hate to be the person to point it out, but it looks like there's a ska band on the way in. We might regret getting rid of Guitar Guy. Oh no. Oh no. Grumson says, was once at the window seat on a flight, and just as we were coming in for the landing, the guy next to me told his girlfriend that his ex would also be joining the family reunion they were going to. Seriously? Why would you do that on descent? That's wild. Tegan Evans says, a couple who are breaking up is fun. A couple who ought to break up but aren't is no fun. Yes. Oh god, I was on a train recently and there was this poor woman just in floods of tears, just like absolute floods, just uncontrollably crying. And her, I assume, boyfriend was just sat next to her and was just staring straight ahead, just like, oh my god, what have I done? And whatever it was clearly so terrible that nothing he could do or say would console her. And he knew that, so he elected to do nothing, which I think probably was the right call. But either way, he looked like a man going to his death. And I don't mean in like a, oh, wait till I get you home, she's gonna yell at you kind of way, as in like, I think basically for about 25 minutes I just watched it sink in that this guy had massively fucked up and really hurt someone. Like, he was just going through all of the stages of grief, except for if you replaced each of the stages with shame. It was wild. Absolutely wild. The gardening DM says he must have left her chihuahua at the gate. Hectorkick says, lunchtime, I'll be back in an hour or so if your flight hasn't left. I mean, hopefully it will have. I don't know. Echo the Kitty says, I have to take my Dramamine before takeoff. I hope they announce my flight soon. Same. I'm almost out of beer. I mean, like, look, listen, I'll get another one. Because if I open this beer and then they call the flight, great, fine. I would pay a beer at this point to get on my plane. You know, like, I was really excited for these dinner reservations in Brussels tonight. Like, it was just one of those restaurants where, like, there's no menu that you order from. It's just like a set thing, and you just go and you just sit down. And, like, they ask you what you want to drink, and then they just start bringing you the first course. And, like, it's all very small plates, but, like, I've just heard really good things about it. And this was, like, my one chance to go. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm having a nice time in the airport lounge. It's fine. Solar Lunix says they're serving smart food white cheddar popcorn now. It's really good. I really like white cheddar popcorn. It's really good. Local Atlantis says, right, fuck this. I'm going to walk to Geneva. See you on the other side, Skellies. Walk safe. Thank you for the incredible anecdote about careful love. That might explode. Oh, so good. Reed Barkley says, which eateries are we hitting up? Nothing beats Airport Yo Sushi. Cheesecake mochi for days. I do like mochi. I've had slightly too much airport popcorn. There's an Asian fusion place by Gate 7. I think someone found the PF Chang's. There is a sushi place. I don't know if it is a Yo Sushi, but somebody said they were living dangerously and getting airport sushi, so that's an option. To be honest, it's like, whoa, liquid lunch for me. The airport popcorn got green screen, said Samorio Suni. Yeah, that's how you know it's safe. To X-ray it. Okay, so we are starting to hear some planes taking off, so that's good, you know. Tattoo of her name says, I'm kind of craving a carbonara made with cream and the wrong cheese. That sounds pretty good, to be honest with you. Like, normally, like, if I see, like, a cream-based anything in an airport, I'm like, I do not know how long that's been sat there. But that does sound pretty good. I once had a really good burrito in an airport in... Must have been Boston. Yes, it was PAX East. Sarah says that's just me swooping by on my jet again, sorry. That's alright. If you want to buzz the tower, it'll keep them on their toes at least. Grumson says, what's that Spanish restaurant where one of the dishes is served in the mould of a man's belly button and you have to suck the liquid from the hole, brackets worst thing I've ever typed? I do not know. The gardening DM says, I forgot to feed my sourdough starter before I left. Do we think I have time to run home? Normally I'd say no, because like going through security again is like always a risk. But honestly, it kind of just feels like you just fucking do it, you know? Yeah. Yeah, the airport burrito I had was good. That was decent. Solo Linux says all these people using cream in their carbonara. I was taught cheese, egg, and pasta water. Yes, same here. Sammy Boy says, okay, the folks I was here to pick up just deplaned, so I'm going to have to scoot. Hope the delays clear up and catch you next time. Thanks, Sammy Boy. I'm really glad the folks you were here to pick up got there safe. And I really hope that plane is going to be turned around and flown to Brussels with me on it. I mean, like, it doesn't look likely, but, you know. Yeah, take care. I'll catch you next time. I'll tell you how Brussels was. Keynes Judd says, just hearing the words airport burrito made my stomach cramp. It was genuinely good. Lucy Mama says, I unfortunately do know what Spanish restaurant you're talking about, but I do not know what it's called. What's the... Do I want to Google this? Spanish restaurant. Spanish restaurant belly button. Spanish restaurant with belly button shaped food. That is a loud suitcase. Is it Mugaritz? Mugaritz. Mugaritz. Mugaritz belly button. Apparently it's a restaurant in Renteria, Spain. Opened in March 1998. Oh, yeah, it is Mugaritz. There we go. Cool. All right. Wow. Harrowing, isn't it? Sasha Conley says, I one time bought a make-it-yourself salad for like $30 in an airport, turned around and promptly dropped it on the floor. That shame haunts me to this day. Holy shit, that sucks. Ouch. It was one time I was a teenager. A friend of mine who used to live in the UK moved to the States. And I went out to like visit her one summer, and I was flying back, just getting dropped off at the airport. And you know, like when someone's leaving, and like a mum is like, "Oh, I need to give you something. Like I need to do one tiny act of like mothering to satisfy like the anxiety that you're going, and you know, I need to feel like I've sent you off well." So she went, and gave me a stick of gum and was like, here, in case your ears pop on the plane. I was like, oh, okay, great, yeah, cool. And I put it in my bag, put it in like a side pocket of my rucksack. Then went to go through security. My bag got pulled aside, and they took it, they picked it up, and they walked me over to a table. And this agent, who was armed, was like, okay, I'm going to search your bag now. Do not touch me. Do not touch the bag. Do not touch the table. And he was unbelievably serious about this. And I was like, okay. And then my bag was like, it had a lot of stupid toggles and straps, like which I had that bag for years. I loved it. But it was not easy to get into and out of if you weren't me. So he was really struggling to go through the bag. He was at it for 15 minutes. And after about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, he was like, I'm going to tell you what we're looking for here. We're looking for a flick knife. That's what came up on the x-ray scanner. And I, like being a British teenager, I went, a flick knife? Because I was so confused and alarmed that I think that kind of made him relax a lot, because I was so amazed that he thought I had a knife. And then he sort of let me help him get into some of the pockets. And literally, it was the last pocket he searched, because when you find the thing, you stop searching. That's how that works. So when people are like, so what's the last place you look? It's like, yes, of course it fucking is, because I finished looking. But it was the last pocket there was to search. And he found that stick of gum, because it was wrapped in foil, and he went, oh, that's it. All right, bye-bye. And just left. And I was like, okay. Just spent more than 10 minutes being like, is this man going to shoot me? Oh, hold on. Oh, from Minneapolis. Right, well, that's just that's an arrival. Don't know where that plane's going. That was an arrival from Minneapolis. Hopefully they'll turn that plane around. I don't know. Still. Right. Solo Linux says, when I was a kid, I used to search one more place because I was a smart ass. Dear, oh dear. Right, everyone, I'm going to go get another beer. Does anyone want anything while I'm up from, like, the airport kiosks? Like, I'm streaming, so technically, this is tax deductible now. Like, I could probably write this off as a business expense. Does anyone want anything? Will says a cornetto. What flavour? Hot chocolate, please. From Josh Warriad. Meffy to go has pizza. Gme25 wants cider. Ting says lemonade. Dave Tech says big Toblerone. Peanut M&M's for gardening. DM. One who dares Haribo. Iced tea, please. Foil wrapped gum, says Little Rat Jester. Marble Hub says lol if you see any dango. Perhaps one of those weird short Pringle tubes, please. I'll try. Vonnie wants a double G and T. Will says if you can write it off, can I have a bottle of single malt and a Rolex? I'll see what they've got. I'll be right back. Hold on. Wow. Okay, that bartender is having a terrible time. Like, they're out of almost everything. Didn't even ask to see my boarding pass. And, like, there was... I know travel's stressful and everything, but there was, like, this... It was, like, this lady, and she was just yelling at him about the delays. Like... This guy's working behind the bar. Why are you yelling at him about your airport experience being subpar, you know? And like, I don't know. Just yeah. Ruben Proctor says, "Where are we trying to go?" Oh, I'm flying to Brussels. Where are you trying to get to, Ruben? I can look it up for you. What was your flight? Scott Perkins says, good chip shop chips and a battered sausage. I don't think they have a chippy in the airport, unfortunately. There's probably like a fucking Gordon Ramsay something or other. Will says, actually, you know what? I want to buy an iPad Pro. That's a decision I should make in an airport. Yeah, do it. Matthew to go says, my original flight was LH2222 to Toulouse. Ooh, that's... I don't know what to tell you, Meffy. That's been cancelled. Ruben Proctor says, Singapore, I think. Delayed, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Hal9000 says, when I worked at an airport gift shop, people would yell at us all the time about delays because they often couldn't get hold of actual airport staff. Motherfuckers. I'm sorry that you had to put up with that. I enjoyed that joke, Will. Solar Linux says, my bag got searched on the way back from Oxventure and it was because of the Paddington Bear coaster tree ornaments we got. Oh no! They probably just wanted to see them because they sound cool. Oh. Alright. it's got to be good news for us soon, right? Like, that's like the third plane in 10 minutes that's taken off. It's clearly doing all right. The one who dares says, good news and bad news. Bad news is the carbonara I found behind the M&S was not in date. The good news is that I have now eaten. Well, you know, airport food. Even when it's in date, it's not that good, is it? Fed is best. Okay. Alice Amarilla says, once I was flying international with my mum, who brought Christmas presents for some friends, and we ended up getting stopped by security while they investigated a pillar candle I think they thought to be some sort of bomb. Oh, wow. My bag was once searched because they thought I had a brick. It was a camera bag because I was flying out for work, and then there was quite a lot of space in the bag, and I like to read on flights, so I put a couple of books in there, and I think it just came back as like mostly like an organic material that was solid, and they were like, this person's got a brick. It was not a brick. That was just a veiled humble brag about how I'm a big reader, wasn't it? Will says, Kay once gave me a stack of 200 metal X-Wing cards to take to Iceland, and I would say that a big block of metal is one of the worst things to bring through airport security that is technically okay. Yes, that sounds about right. Oh, and the guy who saw that I had tarot cards and wanted to security check them, but had a full-on religious panic about them once he saw them. Wow. Wow. Dear, oh dear. Alexander Hansen says, I had a dog toy set off a chemical sensor. That's impressive. Josh Warriad said... Josh Warriad says, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about this story. It's a good one. I was flying back from Canada after visiting for my brother's wedding, and I had my laptop with me, which was ancient. Part 1 of 3. Hold on. Hold, please. Type faster, Josh. We're only going to be delayed for so long. A vague silhouette says, that's not the flight to CLT, is it? No, you're good. No, there's nothing. So you haven't missed it. The bad news is I don't know how much longer we're going to be here. Yeah. Did you see the Ruben Proctor says, Johnny, can you tell me to get out of this airport and do my coursework due tomorrow instead of procrastinating with you? Listen, Ruben, I just checked, and I think your flight's not on the board anymore, friend. Like, I don't think you're getting a flight today. I don't think it's passenger announcement for passenger Ruben Proctor. Ruben, buddy, we need you to leave the airport and do your fucking coursework. That's passenger Ruben Proctor. Please leave the airport and do your coursework. Good luck. You'll feel much better once it's done. Thank you. Aha, here we go. Josh says, maybe I'll wait a minute and then do all 3 at once. Laptop. Oh, Ruben says, okay, bye. You've got this, Ruben. You've got this. We're all thinking of you. I mean, we're mostly thinking about our flights, which I don't know if I mentioned are delayed. I don't know if I'm going to get to Brussels this evening. But, you know, you got this. You'll be all right. Tattoo of her name says, I once got my hold luggage searched on the way back from Boston. It was August. I'd done 4 punk shows in 4 days and slept on the floor. That poor agent. Holy shit. Okay, we've got the full story. Josh Warriad says, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about this story. It's a good one. I was flying back from Canada after visiting my brother's wedding and I had my laptop with me, which was ancient. I got pulled aside when going through security and was very confused as I had no issues on the way there. A security person mentioned something about an explosive risk, so I was alarmed. Turns out the laptop was so old, the battery was in genuine danger of exploding if it got too hot. Very dramatic, and I never got it back, which honestly seems fair enough. Can't blame them. Yeah! They're not going to be like... Yeah, they probably wouldn't give it back. AKA Wonder Woman says, gonna go wash my hair in the airport bathroom, be right back. You got this. I really wish I brought spare socks on my carry-on. Because, like... I don't know, my feet aren't dirty, but they're just, like, you know when you just want a clean pair of socks? Like, Reed Barkley says, nothing worse than airport security in Riyadh. I used to have my Archie comics absolutely destroyed with black marker on every page Betty and Veronica weren't wearing enough. Soaked right through. God damn. Rapidus Sugar 95 says, so what's happening? Hey, Rapidus Sugar, I hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the airport lounge. I was meant to be catching a flight earlier. To be honest with you, I should have landed by now. I'm flying to Brussels. I've got dinner reservations this evening and a big meeting tomorrow. But as you can see, all of the flights are just delayed. By happenstance, weirdly, most of the people in chat are also, at the airport, just waiting to catch a flight, but it's delayed. So we're making the most of it. You know, everyone's got a drink. We're having some snacks. I mean, I assume you're trying to catch a flight too, right? Rapidus Sugar? Where are you trying to get to? I'll check it on the board. Sarah says, me to my difficult to predict child when he asks which luggage to grab. Carry on, my wayward son. No, you know what? It was fucking worth it. Alice Amarilla says, truth be told, Johnny, booking dinner reservations on the same day you're doing your traveling is just asking for trouble. I knew I had to eat somewhere, and this place is good, but, I wanted a reservation. Rapidus Sugar says, I'm trying to get to Dublin. Apparently it's a rocky road, though. Okay, let's have a look. Dublin. Are you flying Aer Lingus or Ryanair? I mean, they're both delayed. I'll keep an eye on... I'll tell you what, I'll keep an eye on both for you. Yeah, it's just... Honestly, Rapidus Sugar, it's been a fucking day for all of us. But we've heard a few planes taking off, so hopefully we're getting somewhere. Big wheelie suitcase. Not sure that's going to fit in the carry-on. Trippy G says beering now. Hell yeah. Samurai Osini says, folks, my flight to R'lyeh has just been cancelled, so that's me off. Take care. Take care, Samurai Osini. I'm sorry you didn't get to fly. But, you know, if it's been cancelled, you can at least get a refund, right? So... Method to Go says, I see smoke on the runway. Is that normal? Yeah, that's fine. What beer are you beering, Trippy G? I've got the rest of this Hobgoblin. And then I saw at the bar they've got a can of... West Coast Pale from Pretty Decent, which I might pick up. So, have you seen that Primus are playing Arctangent? No. Wait, Primus are playing Arctangent? No, I haven't. I haven't looked at the Arctangent lineup. Hello. I was going to go the year Heilung headlined, and then I didn't. Love Mickey says, Johnny, is the flight to Moscow cancelled yet? Should I just leave? It's still saying delayed, but, kind of feels like a lot of people are just leaving. You may as well just kind of... I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Will says if it's cancelled, you can get a refund as well as compensation for your incurred expenses. Oh, nice. Okay. Arctangent. Oh, shit. Wait, whoa. Hang on a minute. 6th are playing on the Wednesday. So is Svalbard. I thought they'd broken up. Primus. Igor. Chelsea Wolf. Oh. I missed that announcement. They'll do it again if it's important. It'll probably be fine. Ivor. Okay. Nice. We're getting some planes leaving. That's got to be a good sign. I'm more tempted by trees this year. I say this year as if I've been to a festival as a punter since 20... When was the last... The last time I went to a festival solely as an attendee rather than working was 2007. So I don't know why I'm like, no, I'm not sure about this festival this year. I've not been to a festival in fucking years, and every festival I've been to, apart from literally one, I've worked. But 2000 Trees sounds great. Solar Lunix says, thank you for streaming and for being so kind after you were tired from the Oxventure. Hubby and I are calling it, and we're going to take the ferry home. See you next time. Makes sense. I hope the waves are good to you. Sorry that the airport's been such a shit show for everyone. It was very, very nice meeting and talking to you at the show. Yeah, take care. Will says, Hi Long are my favourite live band, no question. Yeah, I've still not seen them. I should, though. Cragnificent says, got pulled aside for a random drug search coming back from Cyprus, and the only thing the guy said to me was, English? And then slow swabbed all my stuff, including my shoes I was wearing. Damn. I was flying back from Italy, and I was in trouble because I had a guitar case with me that I'd booked through as normal luggage, and so I got sent to oversized luggage, and the guy wanted to tell me off because I'd done it wrong. And he looked at my passport, saw my surname, started speaking fluent Italian to me, and on top of being told off about my luggage, I had to go through the personal indignity of going, like, mi dispiace, I don't speak Italian. And he just went, and then started bollocking me in English. And I swear to God he went harder on me because I had an Italian surname and no Italian. It was a lot. Oh shit, Echo La Violette says I've got meet and greet tickets for Manchester on the 20th and I'm very excited. Oh, it'll be lovely. I'm looking forward to the Manchester show and the Birmingham show. A vague silhouette says I really need to stress that the airport code for the Charlotte Douglas International Airport is in fact CLT, and I always read it as something rude. Claptrap. That's something rude, isn't it? Robin was here, says, what was that tree identifying app you recommended, Johnny? I want to look up what that artificial plant in the corner is supposed to be. I use one called Seek. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Merlin's my favourite, because that one's the bird one. You need to find bigger Manchester venues. They sold out so fast. Ah, damn it. Sorry, Matt James. The IATA code of Blackwater Airport in Queensland, Australia, says Meffy to go, is BLT. That's fantastic. Rapidist Sugar says, had my manager tell me they'd book for Dread Live, and then I spent the afternoon trying to figure out how obvious the sickie would be if I went. Oh dear, oh dear. Dice Dragon Joe says, is anybody interested in pulling a Home Alone and renting a big van and road tripping to get where we're going? I mean, surely we need a polka van for that. Well, not a polka van, a polka band. Polka, 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 polka. You like polka? Lost Ark 6555 says Miami's airport code is MIA. Always worries me. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Polka, 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 polka. The vague silhouette says no van, but I saw a clown car in the parking lot. We might manage to fit in that. Very good. Will says, hell yeah, let's pull a Home Alone and teach a child the ways of asymmetric warfare. Extremely good. Oh, Sarah says, oh, don't, because I'll get sad about Catherine O'Hara again. I know, that fucking sucks. It was very, very sad. She was great.
Thank you for your understanding.
Emma Crook says managed to apply for 3 jobs today as well as normal work. Damn, that's amazing. That's very impressive. Jersey Cat Production says I need more snacks. Yeah, there's... oh, which way was it? I think if you go that way, just past the toilets, there's like a... It's like one of those like all-round news agency snacky type places. Obviously, it's incredibly expensive, but like you can get something. I don't know. I mean, it's really starting to feel like we're all just going to get compensation for this. So, like, to be honest with you, I'm like weapon 3 at this point. Well, I shouldn't say that in an airport. I'm like, you know, bug it. 2nd beer, 3rd beer, why not? S. Jupiter says, pretty sure my flight's not coming, so I'm going to head off. Have a good one all. Take it easy. Don't forget to file for a refund. It was nice to see you. Like, you know, like, I think this whole thing would have sucked so much if it weren't for the fact that you were all trying to get flights as well. Like, I'd just be bored out of my mind here, and, like, drinking in an airport lounge alone, like, it's classy, but it's not, like, very classy, you know? Whereas, like, this feels like it's been a classy affair, you know? Maybe the real dinner reservations in Brussels were the friends we made along the way, you know? Right? Mr. Lee J. Ston says, when coming back through JFK a few years ago, I was pulled to one side by security staff. I was a little panicked, but as I walked with a limp, I was pointed toward an empty desk. It was for diplomats. The guy at the desk was as confused as me, and I was shuffled through. My diplomatic immunity has not translated to daily life, however. Well, for a while, though. Diplomatic immunity. Will says it's wild that so many people you know are at the airport at the same time. I know, right? Weird. Thank goodness, really. Honestly. Method to Go says drinking alone in a lounge really only feels good when you're flying into a vacation. Yeah. Trippy G says, oh, Ambassador. You are spoiling us with these Ferrero delays. Eliaveri7438 says, I'm currently assembling an 149-piece shoe rack, which is an odd thing to do in an airport, but there we go. Listen, it sounds like you've got time before your flight takes off. Where are you trying to get to again? I mean, I'll keep an ear out and, like, you know, we can try and just, you know, like, if it looks like your flight might be boarding soon, maybe we can pitch in and help you assemble the rack. You may as well, like, as long as it fits in the overhead. Assemble that thing. Flying with Burb says, this stream made me weirdly productive. I just cleaned my entire kitchen and folded my laundry, lol. Damn, that is impressive. Why did you bring your laundry to the airport? Eliavari says, British Columbia. Alright, hold on. Yeah, no, nothing yet. We'll keep an eye out for you, don't worry. Emma Crooks says, I'm going to go get another mead and cola. I do recommend cutting mead with something if you don't particularly like it. I don't normally like mead, but with lemonade or cola, yeah, it works well. I've had like a mead spritzer before, and I still didn't like it. There's something about the very specific taste of, like, fermented honey that just cuts through even mixers, and I'm like, bleh. Trippy G says, did you hear that Heathrow have scrapped the 100ml limit? I did hear this, but I wasn't sure if it was true. I was talking to somebody the other day who was getting a flight, and was like, I can't remember, I'm flying out of Gatwick. Have they scrapped the thing there? Do I have to take the fluids out? Do I not? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, fucking no. And they told me I was useless, which is fair. Edinburgh have as well, says Will. Okay, alright, well, there we go. Tattoo of her name says, what about regular honey? Is that nasty, or is it just the fermented stuff? No, I like the, I like normal honey. Regarding DM says, mead tastes like drinking mold to me. Yeah, whatever it is, whatever that kind of, that specific tang of mead, I'm just like, it's horrible. Oh, Will says, Edinburgh have so that tourists buy more scotch. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh shit, maybe we're getting out of here. Passenger announcement from passenger Amelia Bank 4789. Johnny and LSPs, hello. I got BTS tickets. I'm seeing them in Chicago with my bestie in August, and it cannot come soon enough. Thank you. That's rad, in fairness. Weirdly, I've seen a lot of BTS Bon Voyage. I've seen a lot of that show, more than you would think, more than I would think. So I have a weird soft spot for BTS. I think they're all very nice lads, and I'm very sad that they had to do national service because fuck that. But I'm very glad that they've all finished, and now they're back to being BTS together. My bias is Jungkook. I really hope you enjoy seeing BTS in Chicago in August. That sounds great. Hal 9000 says, Army! Is that what you say about BTS? Yes, it is. Yeah. Lost Sun says, good morning from Canberra, Skellies and Johnny. Good morning from the airport. It should be good fucking evening from Brussels for me. But look at this. Not getting out of here anywhere. Anytime soon. Trippy G says, remembering the BTS promotional condoms on this day. What? I remember JLS doing promotional condoms. BTS condoms. Yes, look at that. Is it? Wait, is that a thing? I'm now seeing BTS king-size condoms spotted in BTS members' room. Oh, I see. Well, you know, better to be safe than not. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, well. Gumson says, Johnny's search history on the airport Wi-Fi must be insane. Oh, I've got a VPN going, don't worry. Trippy G says, JLS had the condoms. Yes, that's right. One of JLS went to my uni. I interviewed him once, and I was like, you went to King's? He went, yeah, I had to drop out because of the band. I was like, oh, I just graduated. And he was like, yeah, I would have graduated by now. And he seemed quite sad. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Lost Sun says, never actually been on a plane. Where are we going? Well, no one's going anywhere at the minute. Where are you trying to get to? Rihanna C says, I remember the JLS ones, and that was mad. They were color-coded for each band member. Wow. God. Lost Ark says, just saw that cop from the Nakatomi incident in LA run by. Should we be worried? No, he's probably got it in hand. Did he have a massive teddy bear with him? If so, it's probably fine. Tony B says, right, the way this is going, I'm going to miss too much of my conference for it to be worth going. I'm heading back to the office. Good luck with your flights, everyone. Thanks, Tony B. Hope the conference goes okay. Well, no, wait. I hope the office goes okay. Tattoo of her name says, I need to go wake my wife up from her nap. She asked me to give her an hour. Is my flight upstairs anywhere near boarding? Yes. The tattoo of her name, flight 7447, flight to upstairs, is actually boarding now from gate 2. So, yeah, go for it. Matthew DeGo says, why not take the Eurostar to Brussels, though? I fancied flying, you know? I mean, you know, I get it now. Look where that got me, but still. Sarah says, okay, Skellies, I got to go refuel the private jet. I hope your flights get here soon. Have nice weekends at your various destinations. Thanks, Sarah. I hope the private jet lands safely. Put in a good word at air traffic control for us. And Kellic Fergex says, back from a shower. Plane still late? Yeah. Private jets are fine, apparently, but yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah. But, oh. Passenger announcement from passenger Trez. My phone is weirdly now showing me photos from my trip to Amsterdam 6 years ago, which is my fave airport. Duty-free cheese. Also, search IATA-BAL. Thank you. All right. IATA-BAL. Batman Airport? What the fuck? Batman Airport is an airport in Batman, Turkey. Batman, Turkey? What? Batman is a city and capital of Batman District in Batman Province, Turkey. It lies on a plateau 540 meters above sea level near the confluence of the Batman River and the Tigris, and had a population of 452,157 in 2021. Batman? Batman District? That's wild. Huh. Well, thank you for that. That's great. Rihanna says, screw it, let's all go to Turkey. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Fist of Fury says Batman with lots of N's on the end, which I'm seeing as Batman. Kelly Tallgirl says, how long is your flight? I mean, at this point, I don't even think I'm going to get one. But of course, I do know that the flight duration to Brussels from here is just over an hour. It's an hour and 10 minutes. So, like, I mean, well, I've been waiting here nearly 3 hours now. So, like, it's like more than twice the duration of the flight. I should have just taken the Eurostar. I really should. Table 9 Studio Game says, I think it's time to start asking for a comp to the airport hotel. It's starting to feel that way, you know? I'm still having fun, but... ugh. That's like the 10th time that person with that wheelie suitcase has gone past. Captain Crimbo says, I always get the channel tunnel. Oh, sorry, I always get the channel to Brussels. Love getting slightly tipsy while watching the countryside zip by. Yeah, I mean, clearly I should have done that. But, hey ho. I've never been to Brussels, you know? Or have I? No, I definitely have. I've been to Brussels. I've been to Brussels like twice. Have I been to Brussels twice? Yes, I have. Once was just a layover on the way to Cologne, but once I walked around it for a few hours on the way home from Amsterdam. It's nice. I was excited to go there. Davy Jones says, rushed here from work just to realise my flight is delayed. Oh, well. Where are you flying to, Davy Jones? String Theory Instruments says, so let me get this straight. This game is so chill that it's literally just sitting in an airport and Johnny isn't hopping mad at anyone, at least visibly. I'm not mad at all. Like, delays happen, you know? Like, sure, I'm sad that I'm not on my way already, but, you know, yeah. Oofed. Zara Slope says, phew, just got through security. Somebody in front of me had a pair of scissors in their bag. It went wild. That's never good. Because, like, obviously they're embarrassed, but then, like, the security have to do due diligence. It's no good. Yeah. A vague silhouette says, hey, could someone come with me to go talk to a staff member about these delays? Confrontation makes me anxious, but I won't stop thinking about it until I do it. I've got to stay here, because if I lose this seat, I won't be able to plug my phone in, and then the stream will die. So... someone will go with you, though, I'm sure. Could somebody please help the vague silhouette talk to a staff member about these delays? Thank you. Nathan says, evening gamers. Luckily, I brought some Necrons to paint in the airport. That's a nice way to pass the time in the airport. What's everyone else doing? Gardening DM says the people in the adjacent gate are all playing Fortnite. There you go. Little Rat Jess is going to go with the vague silhouette to talk to a staff member about the delays. That's good news. Davy Jones says, I'm flying to Berlin. Probably should have taken the train. Hey, you and me both. Yes. Can confirm your flight is delayed. Ecala Violette says, Johnny being this chill in the airport bar reminds me of that legendary clip from Airline of the guy sinking 3 pints while his flight is delayed and slacking off his cheating wife. I do not remember that. But I'm going to be looking that up as soon as I land in Brussels. Trippy G says, I'm Stansted to Luton. Yeah, no, that one's delayed, baby. Honestly, do you really want to board that flight, John? You're at Stansted, and I understand that's not a fun place to be. But have you been to Luton? Just saying. Just saying. Sleeper Agent says playing solitaire. That's good. Ecla Violet says he's genuinely having the time of his life while everyone is freaking out. It's amazing. This is the thing. When I have, like, travel delays, unless I've got a connection, I do just chill the fuck out. Because I'm like, oh, well, it's beyond my control. And getting upset about this isn't going to help me. If things are delayed, I'm like, oh, okay. It's weird. Lavita. Did I say that right? Lavita says, I used to go through Luton daily on my commute. I'm so sorry. Crispy Goth says, my Steam Deck makes waiting in an airport a lot more bearable. Yeah, fair. Tippy Sage says, we were talking about taking shrooms in an airport. I've heard good things about getting high for Luton. Very good. Hal Bredden says, never agreeing to a layover in Albuquerque again. Yeah, that's fair. There was one time I was flying back from E3 when I was working at GameSpot, and the flight was overbooked, and they were going along being like, would you accept a night in a hotel, like petty cash for dinner tonight and a $500 voucher to fly anywhere if you don't get on this flight? And we were all like, abso-fucking-lutely not. I'm going home. And my colleague went, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. And my line manager was there, and like, he reacted really badly to it. Like, he sort of did a weird panic, and he was like, why are you doing that? And then he was like, and what are you getting, please? As if he was like, as if he had to declare it, as if the voucher should go to the company for which we worked. He was wrong. The voucher did not go to anybody except my colleague. But it was really weird to just see my line manager being like, huh? Like, he got panicked because my colleague might be getting something. You know, to compensate him for the inconvenience he was agreeing to. It was fucking weird, man. I didn't get on with this guy anyway, but it was just, I was sat there, I was like, are you trying to think, like, are you trying to work out whether or not you can confiscate this man's voucher because the flights were booked through work? Like, is that what's going through your head right now? It's fucking weird. Ecla Violet says, right, I'm going, popping off to grab a couple of drinks. Let's see if setting your VPN to Ohio actually does unlock the ability to keep listening to YouTube after you lock your phone. Is that a real thing? That's wild. Oh god. String Theory Instrument says, I had an 8-hour layover in LAX once and it was hellish. Jesus, yeah, that's too much. Owie. Kelly Tallgirl says, I generally get a bit anxious before checking in security, but once I'm through to my gate, I tend to chill out more. But then, from then on, it's like, whatever will be, will be. Oh, 100%. Yeah, it is Bibby says, gonna go find a pizza shop. Can you lot keep an eye on my napping wife? Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah, once I'm through security, I'm like, alright. I mean, I don't like getting to the airport super, super early, but there is a bit of me as well that's like, meow, I don't have loads of time to dither around in the airport. Odd. Will says, nothing on earth makes me happier than delay repay compensation on a work-paid journey. Mm-hmm. Fucking hell. Hal 9000 says, my longest layover was 18 hours between Seattle and Sitka, Alaska. The flight to Sitka is about 90 minutes. Yowza. Combat Wombat says, my friends once had a 28-hour layover in Qatar on their way back from Japan. Good God. Oh. Will says, hey, does anyone want to see what It Is Bibby's wife has in her stuff? Well, no, we're not doing that, thank you. Captain Crumbo says, a 5-hour layover in Heraklion Airport at 2 AM was my worst ever. Ended up hanging out with stray dogs drinking duty-free Baileys. That sounds fucking great, in fairness. I'm sure it wasn't that much fun, but also, I don't know. Andrew Fulham says, I took a coach from Liverpool to Prague, took 24 hours. Wow. I was on a coach once to Berlin from the UK. That felt like it took 400,000 years. Beanze says, Haneda Airport was cool. They've got like a miniature old style town in the airport. That's cool. That's very cool. That flight's delayed though. And I guess it's just there in departures, right? Not in arrivals. Will says 36-hour layover in Keflavik. Oh no, it was only barely enough time to go to the Blue Lagoon. Hell yeah. That sounds fucking great. Chris Field says, back from dinner, no movement, huh? No. I mean, you'd think they'd remove Flight 9 from the board at this point. It's been cancelled for like 3 hours. Like, no one's under any illusions that that flight's taking off, but I don't know. What can you do? EJ says we had an 11-hour layover in Bangkok before having to get on an 11-hour flight. Bad times. Absolutely not. Catastrophe says, I was napping. Has anyone seen my husband? Why is my stuff messy? Don't know, mate. Cali Tall Girl says, how big is the airport you're in? It's pretty big. You know, there's a gate 7. There's like a few different places to eat. We mentioned that there's a sushi place, there's an Asian fusion restaurant, there's a PF Chang's. It's mostly... someone said pizza, someone got a carbonara from the back of a Marks and Spencer's. It's Asian food heavy, but like that never bothers me. It's a pretty big airport, you know? Yeah. Mikose says, just got through security. What the hell is going on? Unfortunately, my friend, this is what's going on. No one's going anywhere. Everything's delayed. Everything's delayed. Absolutely everything. It's a shame. Tattoo of her name says there's a cocktail bar. There is a cocktail bar. It's very expensive. But, you know, at this point, what's the point in living if you don't feel alive, you know? Nicosia says, no, don't worry. You'll settle in. The good news is there's loads of us here and there's booze, you know? All right. Oh, what? Names Next says, I'm texting from the lobby. It turns out the trams to the gates are also delayed? This is bogus. That's ridiculous. Trippy G says they've got roast skeever at the Ragged Flagon. I didn't know they had a Ragged Flagon here. I love roast skeever. Ham 9000 says I got a Dark and Stormy for like $16, but it is good. That sounds pretty good. Little Rat Jester says, oh, I had no idea airports did fancy spinny desk chairs like yours, Johnny. Oh no, I'm just very flexible in the hips. Will says, in terms of things I shouldn't have been allowed to take past security, I'm going to cook a stir fry on my gas cooker. Mel says, hello, did I miss my flight? Where are you trying to get to, Mels? You almost certainly haven't. Combat Wombat says going to pop to the WH Smiths. Does anyone want anything? Yeah, can you get me like a Stieg Larsson paperback, please? Any of them's fine. A Vague Silhouette says I got a bag of pecans. Look, I spent a lot of money on this trip. I needed something cheap. Valid. That's fair. I mean, also, don't buy airport macadamias. Oh, trying to get to Krakow? Yeah, no, sorry. Shit out of luck. That is delayed. Same as everything. Honestly. Jazzy Cat Production says, back from getting snacks, grabbed a Gentleman Jack while I was at it because it's what they had. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you know, Jack's not my favourite, but it's an airport, you know. You make do with what you can. Scott Perkins says, I've never been stuck at an airport, but I was on the train to Plymouth over Christmas. We got stuck for about 45 minutes near Exeter. The person opposite me got out a ferret, which was very fun. I'm assuming that's not a euphemism, and if it isn't, then that is great. I love ferrets. They're brilliant. Excuse me. Goodness me. Yeah. Little Rat Jester says, roasted skeever, please. I mean, they roast it to order, so normally I'd be like, like, don't order the roasted skeever in the airport. You're not going to get it in time for your flight, or you're going to have to carry it on in like a takeaway box, and then it's going to be all sweaty when you eventually open it. And like, no one likes the smell of roasted skeever on a flight. Some airplanes don't even let you get on with them. It's like how you can't take like durians in your carry-on luggage on some airlines. But fuck it, you know, with these delays. Nicosia says, I used to work airport security, checking passengers and everything. Found an illegal switchblade, and it wasn't a test. Bloody hell. Little Rat Justice says, oh my god, I have a weird public transport food story. This will be a few parts. Alright. I'm going to wait till they're all there. So number them, please. String theory instrument says, the proverbial fish in the office microwave. Indeed. Yes. Haywire says, I think that guy from the Nakatomi incident just started a bonfire on one of the runways and is letting off a shitload of firecrackers. That's probably fine. Mel says, does anyone know why all the delays? Just snow or fog or what? I don't know. I mean, it is pretty foggy out the windows. But they haven't really told us much. Like, there have been plenty of tannoy announcements, but they've not really said anything. Like, about the actual delays. I don't know, it's fucking weird. But, yeah. Chihuahuas, says the Aracusan. Okay, Little Rat Justice story is... We've only got the first part of it, but it's pretty fucking good already. Oh, Scott says, not a euphemism. Spent the rest of the journey with a noodle bear in my lap. I missed the 2 ferrets I had. They were brilliant. One of them was a little bastard, but they were both great. Nathan says, one of the security guards told me the planes were all real sleepy. Oh... I mean, it makes sense. You don't want a sleepy plane when you're flying, but, like, who knows when they're gonna wake up? Sarah Slope says there's a seagull on the runway and they're refusing to move on. Yeah. Alright, we've got the second part of Little Rat Justice story, and again, it's pretty fucking good. I'm going to start reading once the third bit arrives. And then it should dovetail nicely. And then, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Batteries, lithium-ion batteries, don't do it. Yeah. Catastrophe says, one flight I took recently, the pilot said in a very casual French accent, there's fuel leaking from the wings. It's not a big deal. Oh, okay, fine. Damn. Alyssa says, I once arrived at Belfast City for a 10 a.m. flight to Manchester and left on a 6 p.m. flight to Birmingham. The airline put on taxis in between them, so I got them to drop me off at my parents instead. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. We're going to start reading Little Rat Jester's story about a train and food. There was a guy on the train with my brother. He was in a fancy suit. He sat down next to my brother, brackets, window seat, and took out an entire fish in a newspaper. Like, nothing was done to it. Took out a bunch of herbs, sauces, etc., and started, like, I don't know, preparing the fish, spread out across the table on the back of the seat. That's not a big fucking table to do anything on, let alone prepare a fish. Started eating it, had to deal with all the herring bones and stuff. Eventually, my little brother had to get out. The guy did not. He had to politely tap him on the shoulder and ask if he could go. What the fuck? Oh, Minar Lennon says apparently there's an on-time flight to Barcelona on the secret flight board. You serious? Oh, fuck. I didn't look at the secret flight board. It says there's a... Shit, my flight to Brussels is boarding in a few minutes. The Great Hoopla says, genuinely curious what this is for. I hadn't heard of anything. Nothing, I had to catch a flight and it's delayed, so I figured I may as well stream. You know? What can you do? I thought let's make the most of it. Let's have a chat. Loads of other people are here and they can't get their flights, so like let's just have a drink and a chat, you know, while we're at the airport. Mothman Sandoval says, I heard clinking of cups, now I want coffee. Is there a cafe in this terminal? Yeah, it's not good though. Oh no. Okay, so here we go. My brother had to get out while this dude's eating a whole fish. Tapped him on the shoulder after he could go, so he awkwardly looked at the fish chaos in front of him and just closed the tiny table fish against the back of the seat, like the cushion part, sauce included. Fish is now hairy and disgusting, probably. Disgusting, anyway. There we go. We talk about him all the time. That's fucking bananas. That's wild. That's okay. Unbelievable. But listen, everyone. I've just looked at the secret departures board. It looks like my flight to Brussels is boarding, so I'm gonna dip. I mean, I've missed my fucking dinner reservations, but at least I'm gonna make my big meeting tomorrow. So thank you all for being here with me. I hope you all catch your flights. You know what? Like, this is the worst. Sorry, it's not the worst. I mean, this is the worst delay I've had for a long time at an airport, but like, this is the best 3-hour delay I've ever had in an airport. And I think, actually, you know what? That's all thanks to you lot. And yeah, like Trippy G says, just a 3-hour delay. That's not too bad. So yeah, I'm going to board my plane. If someone wants the rest of this this hobgoblin, I'm just going to leave it here by the bench. Take care, everyone. Fly safe. And I'll see you all soon. All right. Take it easy. I have a Patreon. There's a link in the description. Blah, 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 blah. Fly safe, everybody. Bye-bye.